This episode is sponsored by Williams Legal Services. Did you recently get a speeding ticket or a ticket for your tints being too dark? Then Williams Legal Services might be for you. They have been helping car enthusiasts such as myself since 2016. Contact Williams Legal Services for a consultation today. Link in the description below, or give them a text or call at 647-631-5516. Hey guys, thank you for listening to the podcast. If you'd like to support the channel, buy our merch. So we made air freshener, 3D printed keychains, a flight tag, and a t-shirt. I'm actually wearing it right now. And this is what it looks like. So you like to support our cause, our channel, scan this QR code here, or you can go to visit us at groupen.club/merch and you can make the purchase there. Now let's start the episode. Nonsense again, and then I go, welcome back to Word on the Street podcast. It is I, Michael, and I got my friend Victor here with me.
Hello, everybody. Thanks, Michael.
There was some technical difficulties, so we had to do this again. It's kind of hard. But yes, Victor, yes, he's a friend of mine, and he also is cool as heck because he has GTR! GTR! Oh! If you know, I want to put the meme about, like, I want to buy GTR. If you can do that, Ben, later, yeah, do that for me.
冇事先做到世界冠軍㗎嘛。
我要買 GTR 佬，
我買 Benz 俾你啊，
我要買 GTR 佬，
加隻佬。
我要買 GTR 佬。
但係你琴晚爭啲死噃，
我尋晚如果揸 GTR 佬，我使炒。
你揸 GTR 死咗啦。
我要買 GTR 佬。
So, yeah, brief introductory. I actually forgot how I met him. You don't remember.
I'm just gonna say it's probably off your Bolobao license plate.
Could have been.
Because I think that was probably it.
I just remember meeting you at a show rather than a meet. That's the only thing I could remember.
Possible. I just know I met you, and then I was here one day with the Endgame group. And
The random pop-up. I was like,
Yeah.
yay!
That was probably it, and that's probably hit it off from there.
Yeah, so like, we're friends, and now I get to talk to him, interview him, and then we can talk about his GTR that he imported. Because that's a lot to uncover.
Yes.
Like, honestly, like, how does it feel to be a GTR owner?
Still hasn't hit me. I look in the garage and I feel like it's probably some days it's gonna disappear. It's like a dream.
Is it just Nissan?
Yeah.
It's fine.
So, but words can't put into like just owning a GTR, especially in this market now where I can't buy one. I can't even afford one.
Oh my gosh. Well, okay. Well, you know what? Let's get into it because since we're already here, how did you got into the hobby, into cars? And then talk about that first, and then I want to ask you more about how you got into a GTR.
So into getting into cars, actually I don't really know how. I just from when I was young, I just kind of had interest in cars. I would sit in the back of the car and I would start naming off cars based on taillights. Even at night, I'll know what car it is. And so my parents knew like I was gonna be car insane which just came true. But I just always knew car. I even knew Skyline GTR before I knew what a V6 engine was. I always see the signs V6. I don't know what that is, but I know what a GTR is. I know what an RB is.
What's a 3.7 liter?
I don't know what that is. I know an RB26 and I want one. So
whatever it is, I don't care. I just want an RB. Okay, and then I guess so that was your childhood, and then what was your first introduction into like the cars? Like what was your first car? And then did you mod it?
So my first car was kind of a hand-me-down from my sister. It was a 09 Nissan Sentra SER.
Wow, a Nissan again.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it was already Nissan. My mom already had a Murano back then, so and Nissan runs in the family. So I had that. It was an automatic, but it was just my college car actually. So I had that for 3 years, and then switched over to the G37 Infinity.
Oh yes, you
The
had
sedan.
one of that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How was that one? Oh, they're right there.
Yeah, they're right there. So that I obviously was carbon crazy. So anything carbon fiber, I'll take it.
Yeah.
So carbon skirt,
God.
hood, the rear TS diffuser from a 350Z with like the diffuser like extension piece.
So that was from a 350Z.
TS diffuser, yes. I had Next Mod Mississauga help me put that on.
Okay.
And then, but at that time already, it was kind of like this was the Central was kind of like my racer stage, you know, muffler, had a Borla muffler, put big wheels on it, and didn't lower it, so it was right. This was kind of like the first car that I kind of wanted to really like do it right. So it was kind of the OEM Plus 2. It's kind of where the start of that came from. So 370Z Nismo wheels. And that was in 2015. Just when the car came out, I found somebody was selling the full set of those wheels. I jumped right on it. Didn't fit the car, but made it work.
I mean, it fits now.
It fits, yeah. It
It's
fits
on the
now.
car.
It was great. I loved it. I did everything that was possible. So you said the aero lip on the front, the headlights.
What was under the headlights?
So the blacked out housings, and then kind of they had like an Iron Man LED on the chrome housing there. Yeah, so it just kind of light up there.
So you cracked it open and did that
Yes.
yourself? Wow.
I had my friend help me with the kind of the wiring part of it. But the opening, putting in the oven, hopefully I don't burn the headlight. Yeah, that's was my first foray into the headlights.
And then carbon hood I see there.
Yep, it was a side mount hood. Didn't fit the gradings. You can just see right at the top there, where the middle of the meets. You can kind of see a gap right where the front of the car. Yeah,
It's carbon.
and then the hood. It was a used hood. It already had the GTR vents built into it.
Oh, it was, so it's cut and then put into the vent.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, so but it didn't do anything. It just cooled my brake reservoir and my battery, so kept those cool. Functional.
Functional,
Yes.
but useless.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And you see the intake sitting right behind the grill. So it was tuned. At DMT.
Okay.
But didn't make that much. It made 299 wheel, so modest.
290. Is it an automatic car?
Yes, it's an all-wheel drive.
And all-wheel drive. That's not bad.
It's okay. It's good for as my my first real car that I put money into it and really kind of done it up.
I'm just saying, even with that figure at all-wheel drive and
It
299.
goes.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm just thinking because they were rated at like 337 from factory, right?
Yeah, 330 something.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so the fact that with all-wheel drive is typically 25% parasitic loss, right? Powertrain loss, sorry.
Yep.
So even if you do that math, you should have only been like at like 250, 260, give or take. But you
Around
managed to
it, yeah.
squeeze out 300. That's not bad.
Tony did his work and car
Magic.
felt peppier and yeah.
Wow, that's actually pretty impressive. Okay.
And then the front splitter. So that front splitter, it doesn't just stop at the bumper. It actually was two-piece, goes all the way to the front of the transmission housing. It was essentially a leg cutter. It wasn't like those plastic stuff. It was actually like a 1/8 aluminum sheet.
Oh, and then you just put a whole under tray.
Under tray. So I bolted it to the actual subframe. So the front splitter rods, they were just more for show.
Yeah, the splitter rods a show, but the splitter itself.
It was a two-piece that would lay on top, and then there was a second piece behind it.
Wow,
and it
a
would
real
actually go all
splitter.
the way. Yes.
So it's like a true. Wow, the only thing you're missing is chassis mount at this point.
Yeah. So those were literally leg cutters because if I hit something, I'm gonna take your legs off. It won't bend. That won't bend. So
My legs going before that. Okay, so that was back in 2015, you said?
yeah, that was 2015. So 2013 is when I got it,
Okay.
and then about 2020 is when I started partying it out.
2020 you started partying
Yeah.
out.
So I had it
Okay.
for 7 years.
Okay, and then from there, where did you got into the GTR then, I'm
So
assuming?
from 2017 to kind of 20, I was already kind of wanting a GTR. I'd just been kind of browsing. My friend Alvin Wong from G Trading, he was kind of begging me, yo, if you want a GTR, man, I can help you out. I can help you import it. And during that time, it kind of was, that's maybe interested. Then so 2017, so then 2018 in January, I just noticed the prices just ever so often just kind of going up just a little bit. So then kind of the time was kind of showing like, hey, I think I should probably, down a GTR. And so I've been searching, and black was not my color. I've been searching for a little bit, but I actually wanted a silver. So you see all the model cars, there's a reason there. And I wanted a silver GTR because I want to do the Nismo livery. I want to do, that was kind of my vision. So that's why the silver car, the 34 on the table there. That was my dream. That was my first ever 118 diecast from 2004, 5, 4. I think.
Wow, when we were kids.
21 years. I'm surprised I didn't break that when I was a kid. It's seen some days, but that was my dream. And so I could never find a silver one, and I wanted a V-spec. I wanted all the stuff that you get for a V-spec. So you get like a front splitter, you get a carbon fiber rear diffuser, and then you also get, instead of a mechanical rear diff of the all-wheel drive, it's an electronic all-wheel drive, like rear diff. So it
Oh,
splits
okay.
the power left and right on the V-spec. So I wanted all that.
Oh, okay.
On higher horsepower GTRs, you probably don't need it because you don't want that. You don't want the computer to decide for you. You want a mechanical diff.
Yeah.
So I never wanted high horsepower. So I wanted V-spec. I can't get a V-spec 2. It's kind of out of my budget. So a good couple months searching. I think we tried one car. It didn't go through. I think it might have been a midnight purple car.
Oh my gosh, have you got that though?
Yeah. So, but I wanted also a car that had maybe like a refreshed engine too. So one night actually, I was in a friend's. I had a bunch of friends. We were chilling in the basement, and I was looking through the auction. I'm like, fuck, this black GTR. It's got a lot of Nismo parts. Had an engine redone. Don't really want this car, but it's got everything I needed. So I was like, give it a try. It's got everything you want. You're gonna have to. It's literally the triangle. You either want price, you want condition, or you want a color.
Yeah.
I gotta choose two. I can't have all three.
You only pick two.
So
okay.
I told Alvin, hey, let's go for this car. I set the limit, and literally that night, about like 12 or 1, which will be like 1 p.m. in Japan time. Yeah, I got the notice. I won this. I was like, dang it, black. I don't want a black car. I had a G37 that was black. I don't want a black car.
But then that was 2018.
That was 2018 of October.
Wow, you know what's funny? I was just thinking, 2018? That's 2 years ago. Wait.
No.
Wait.
And I realized how long I've owned this car for. I felt like I just owned it maybe for 2-3 years. No, I've owned it for way longer.
Wow.
So yeah, so 2018 was kind of like, you just saw the price kind of go up, not where it's 2020.
Yeah.
So got the car, so won the car immediately. Within about a week or two, I scheduled a flight to Japan to go see what I bought. I just spent a whole bunch of money.
Well, you don't know what it is.
Could have ended up with a K car. I could have ended up with a cappuccino instead of a GTR.
Imagine it's a Honda Beat with the body kit on.
Yeah, exactly. So
Okay.
I went to go see within the first couple of weeks of owning, just see what I bought essentially. And
Yeah.
I've never sat in a GTR before in my life. I've never ridden in one. This was literally me jumping straight into it. So I had so Alvin's kind of boss contact with Japan kind of drove it around just to kind of see what it's like. Needed a new clutch because the clutch was slipping.
Okay.
I don't know if there's the video of it on the page, might not, but if not, it's okay. But drove it, yeah, needed a clutch. It had some stuff that I wanted to do in while it was in Japan. So it didn't have a hood. It had just the standard hood.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I want a Z-Tune hood. That's always what I wanted. I couldn't afford it at the time, obviously, so I had to buy a replica Z-Tune style hood.
Okay.
In earlier photos, you might see. Actually, what T has on his car is actually my old hood.
So that was a Z2.
That was a Z-Tune like rep hood.
Okay.
So it's a fiberglass hood. So there you go. That hood, that used to be my old hood on my car. So I had it because I didn't want to ship it from Japan. Shipping a whole hood from Japan is just really expensive. So couldn't afford $7,000 for an actual Z-Tune hood. So I was like, yo, I'm gonna chill. Just let me just, I'll just buy this just to make myself happy.
Make it look nice.
Yeah. It had a really ugly Sparko steering wheels, like light blue, and it made no sense at all. So yeah. But then I didn't know what the engine bay looked like because in the auction photos they didn't show up.
Interesting.
So, but it was a grade 3.5, so like kind of middle of the average, grade interior B. So it was like just general wear, but nothing crazy. So it's like a really good spec that you want. And just had all the Nismo bits. It had those wheels. Funny enough, those wheels, I actually didn't know what they were when I bought it.
LMGTs?
So I wanted LMGT 4s.
Yeah.
I didn't know about LMGT magnesiums.
Yes.
So
These are way better.
They were painted bronze and then no stickers. And from the auction photos, I thought somebody put Rotas on it.
I mean,
Japan.
okay, no, if it was in bronze and like that,
It was no stickers. There was there's no writings on it. And then the auction photo was so blurry you can't see the raised center cap.
Yeah.
So I had my friend Sai. I showed him photo. I'm like, hey, what wheels are these? These LMGT4 because I was about to ditch these in Japan. And he looked at it more.
Thank God you didn't.
And he's like, I don't think these are Rotas. These are like LMG. And I told him, he's like, what car is this off? I was like, it's a 34 GTR. I was like, nobody in the right mind in Japan puts rep wheels on a GTR.
And you're in the motherland. Rep wheel probably cost as much as the real wheels.
And I never knew about these wheels in my life. And and then I brought them over. I was like, I almost ditched them. I started looking at LMGT4s. I'm like, I want a GT4.
Yeah.
And thank goodness, I restored these Roro designs.
Roro did it for you.
He because magnesium wheels, not everybody can refinish them. They literally have to be like essentially like aerospace grade stuff to it's like a gel that strips all the coating.
Yeah.
And he found out there were 7 layers of paint underneath this wheel.
Wow.
Because in Japan, I think nobody wanted to touch these. Nobody wanted, because if it actually had magnesium content in it. If you use the wrong chemical,
it'll blow up.
It'll catch on fire.
Yeah, it'll blow up.
So yeah, I had Ronan help me with that, and he got it coated back to the original. So those are the original white that you would have had when you bought the wheels back in 2001 or 2002.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you. Typically, the LMs typically come in white or black.
In the older, and so back in the days, you can get silver, bronze, white.
Oh, you could get bronze.
You can get So they had them. New ones, they don't. It's all black now.
Yeah, because I only know the new ones are white or black, and there's no in between.
Exactly. Wow. So yeah, they're 18 by 10 plus 20 all around. They're literally GTR spec.
Wow, perfect spec.
Yeah. So
Damn, you almost caught.
I almost
reps.
screwed up because these are like 10 grand wheels on Yahoo Auctions. It's insane.
10 grand USD, no?
They're like 10 million yen. Sorry, million yen wheels. It's crazy.
Like it's crazy, dude.
So
you got them with the purchase of the car.
And then the more I looked more into this car, the more like it's just there's so much Nismo things on this car that I didn't realize. So my friend's like, there you go. You wished you wanted a Nismo car. Here you go.
Got the wing risers and stuff.
Yeah. So the ring risers came afterwards.
Oh, okay.
They had just the regular.
Stock.
But the side skirts, the spats, the wheel Nismo kind of fender covers.
Yeah.
I had those added on in Japan.
Oh, when you were there.
Yeah. So the only thing I really did was the fenders. The clutch that came out of it was actually a Nismo clutch.
Okay.
So the previous owner already put a Nismo clutch brand new from factory. Like when they bought the car, I have records of it actually here. I guess I'll bring it up now.
Yeah, perfect. Let's go.
So this
Nerding out right now.
giant binder.
Explain. What is this?
This is spare keys.
Wow! Imagine.
It had all the spare keys, and actually, if you look at the keys,
can I take it out?
Yeah, take it out. Take it out. It's okay. There's 2 spare keys. The original fob for it. The key actually has GTR indented into the actual like metal.
Oh wow! There is.
Nobody knows. This is just a regular Nissan key. The actual GTR key, I didn't bring it, but that actually has GTRs engraved into the metal.
Yeah, I'll probably take a picture and send it to you guys, but to let you see it on camera. But so, okay.
So these are all the spare keys. The original fob. So the car's got an aftermarket alarm when I bought it.
Viper.
So yeah.
And then this is the other spare key?
The other key, yeah, the other spare key. So that's got the original fob. If you look at the back, it says GTR.
Yeah. This is the valuable one. Wow.
Yeah. So the car doesn't use those anymore. Obviously, it's got the aftermarket alarm.
Oh, you upgraded or updated?
The car came upgraded.
Oh, and it became a Viper?
Yeah, it had a Viper alarm. I think Vipers are pretty actually popular in Japan.
I didn't know because I thought they were American only.
It's a very sensitive alarm. I think when I parked it at one of the T1 like motors, like the Japan wheels.
Yeah.
They had the like music playing. My alarm just kept going off.
Dude, I hated it because even as a kid, I remember going by them and they'd be like, you just brush it by accident.
Oh, and yeah.
And it's like,
you tap the window, it's the whole car's like just completely set up with this.
It's spritzing out. Wow, okay, that's cool.
So yeah, I'll just kind of show kind of this. So this car this is essentially the owner, like the whole car's like Bible. Anything that was done was recorded and was kept, which a lot of GTR owners don't, like in Japan, they don't really keep this or they don't give it because there's a lot of sensitive information that goes with it as well.
Yeah.
But there's like every receipt of like parts.
Wow.
And now it goes to...
There's a clutch right there.
Yep, there's a clutch right there. So it even goes as crazy as they actually document when the part was put on. So I don't know if you can see it there.
Ah, you blocked it out already. Nice.
Yeah. So no, that's actually the dealers. They'll black it out.
Oh, okay.
So like when they receive the car. So the Japan car auction is actually dealer to dealer network.
Okay.
So then dealers would black out this personal information. But a lot of these parts were put on back when the car was brand new from 1999 to February. The car was February built. So you just get stacks and stacks of Nismo. Bumpers, wheels, suspension, you name it, it's all recorded.
So run me down the actual list of parts that's on your car that's not factory, like, out the showroom.
So from the front end, we've got obviously the Nismo S-Tune bumper.
S-Tune bumper.
S-Tune bumper. So it's got the little vents. The Z-Tune bumper that everybody always loves, it eliminates the second piece. So this is actually a 3-piece bumper.
Okay.
You've got the bumper right below the headlight. There's actually like a lip. That lip is actually OEM to the R34s.
Okay, so that's
and then,
OEM.
Yeah, and then the front splitter. So the front splitter is part of V-Spec trims. And you get that splitter that goes all the way to the back of the engine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the bumper,
cover.
S2 bumper is literally just the first midsection where the headlight is.
Okay, where the fog light and the turn
Yeah.
signal is?
Yep.
Is that what I'm looking
That's
at?
the S2. So there you go. You can see
Yeah.
the vent. So this is an S2 bumper.
Okay, so if it's a Z-tune, you don't get that.
You don't get that vent, but you get the bigger vents in between the fog lights and the one below it.
So that I guess for airflow into the...
Yes,
okay.
correct. Yep. You can put an oil cooler behind that. Okay. That's why there's a vent on the side to vent the hot air.
Yes, with that, but S-Tune still has that.
Yes, correct.
Nice.
S-Tunes, Z-Tunes all have that. OEM bumper, they actually do make a Nissan optional part, which has you carve the vent, but then you on the side, because there's no vent, you cut a hole. So Nissan actually makes an optional part for it.
That's kind of cool.
Yes.
But I guess nobody really is.
You sometimes if you see an OEM bumper, you might see it. It's asymmetrical, so the other side doesn't have it, so you'll usually notice it. It's always on if you're looking at the front of the car, it's on the right side.
On the right side. So the right side would be the passenger side.
Would be the yes.
Yes, passenger because it's
Yeah, so I was like, I'll just from the front of the car. So
Okay.
you got that. The hood, it's got now a genuine Nismo Z-Tune hood now. That's
Okay.
the replica hood actually you found.
Okay, but then with the livery, it'll have the proper.
The livery, yeah. So yeah, the livery you'll see the hood with it.
Yeah, so
So
that's the proper.
that's the genuine Z-Tune.
So how much did you
R2 hood.
spend on this hood?
Shipping everything, probably almost $10,000.
This is why you're daddy.
No, this took from 2018 till just I think last year was the year I actually had the hood on. So yeah, it took 6 years for me to save up for noodles to get this hood.
I'm just saying, you have so many other things on the car already that you probably save noodles and then other things.
Well, and I needed this hood. This hood was a prerequisite. It's like going on a quest. I needed this hood before I put the Nismo livery. I wasn't gonna put the livery on the rep hood.
Of course, because you just doing a disservice to the car.
Exactly. So I needed the hood. So the hood there on the front fenders. If you can just see on the front wheels the fender
Extensions, yes.
So most of the time those fender covers are only for like if you're trying to do shaken in Japan, so like inspection. You want the wheels to not stick out.
Yes.
Well, I like that. I like that kind of that.
It adds a flair to the car.
Yes. So a lot of people go for the Z-Tune fender. So the Z-Tune fender has a little vent that comes out the side. It's actually built in already, the fender cover, like the extension already. So the Z-Tune fender is actually wider. This, because it's an OEM fender, I put the extension on to make it that wide.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So maybe down the road I'll do the Z-Tune fender. For now, I like the kind of the flush fender to the door look for now.
I'm not a big fan of the Z-Tune fender because of that little boxy triangle. That's the thing that throws me off every time.
And that's why I'm kind of like I'm on the fence. For now, I like the car just nice and smooth down the whole line on the side.
Plus.
And this is essentially this whole car. Essentially, is OEM plus. It actually this car story actually gets more and more crazy.
I love it. Let's go.
We're diving into it.
Sorry,
this is your GTR kind of like crash course.
This is the GTR. If you want to know about GTR, right now is the time to learn. So take notes, kids.
Yeah. So you got that. You got the Nismo side skirt extension, so you can just see it in the photo.
The side skirt. Okay, yeah.
With the extension. LM mags. And then from here, no, there's nothing else. You have to go to the rear. I don't know if there's any rear photos. Yeah, there. So you have Nismo taillights. So they're LED taillights.
So it's Nismo. It's not.
Yes,
okay.
They're Nismo. There's companies that make like kind of replicas of it now because again they're discontinued. And they charge like $2,000-$3,000 for taillight, which is insane.
Yeah, no.
I didn't know the car came with it until I was in Japan. I looked in the name. I'm like, oh, those are Nismo LED taillights. All right.
Nice.
From here you see the little red tow hook. That's the Nismo part. It actually attaches to the diffuser, like kind of mount point.
Oh, that's so cool.
I don't know how much you can actually tow, but it's more for looks, I think. So, yep. And then probably can't see the exhaust from here. So it's got a Raymax exhaust. It used to have a Nismo S-Tune exhaust. So it's like that oval looking one.
Oh.
Previous owners changed it out for a Raymax. So I assume just to have it a little bit louder.
Raymax is I guess it's more like a cannon style now, like a
No, it still has a canister, and it still has. It looks exactly identical to like the Nismo one. It's just, I guess, probably less
circle tip.
Yeah.
With maybe less fiberglass in there for muffling.
Yep. Yeah. And same with the resonator all the way through, and it's got a downpipe as well.
Okay.
Yeah, you can just see it just there. I needed to polish it. That's one thing, but you can see the taillights are on. Without it, a lot of times I always joke like, oh yeah, the OEM taillights are like stove burners. So on the glass burners, you see that on high or low. It's like you're breaking your own high now.
Oh my! I would never have noticed the difference. I just thought it was like, V-Spec versus V-Spec 2 kind of deal.
No, so the only thing is, the diffuser is probably the only difference between, as you will see here, Emirates GTR, and his is the non-V-Spec. So he's missing the diffuser on the bottom there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can see it right through you can see clearly, right through the wheels back there. So, but again, the diffusers are like $5,000-$6,000. You could always put it on. They're interchangeable.
$5,000. That's a set of fucking...
Yeah, GTRs, anything you're talking, you're in the thousands. You're not in the hundreds, thousands.
Okay, so now we talk about body kit.
Yeah, so the rear spats. So aside from that, the front end, this is kind of like the Nismo kind of typical look.
This is Nismo S-Tune front bumper.
Yeah, like the side skirts, the rear spats, the typical, I'm going to say it's like a cookie cutter. We all do the rear spats. We all do the extensions because, again, it just brings that whole car kind of down without lowering the whole car like crazy.
Yeah, without like slamming it, making it undrivable.
Yeah. So you got that. And then for brakes...
your brakes look so clean.
Well, I clean every time I go anywhere.
Yeah, but dude, I also try to do that with the BRZ, and trust me, I have like...
If I go to the gas station in the back, I'm cleaning the wheels. If I roll it down the driveway, I'm gonna have to clean the wheels because the brakes...
You have OCD. Never mind. All right, never mind. Okay,
like,
I'm not crazy.
It's
dude, it looked like the car showroom. Like it came off the showroom.
I literally am OCD with like every time it goes in the garage, before it even goes in any car that goes into our garage, I have to wash the car. I have to get the car. If the car's going in the garage, it needs to be clean. Why would it go put it in dirty? So I would literally, if it's at nighttime, I'll literally put it in the garage, have all the lights, start washing it.
Okay, sidebar. When I first got my BRZ and I started modifying it, I used to live by a coin op, like a coin wash.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking about, like I could walk to the coin wash. That's how close I lived to it. So I made it my due diligence. I did my due diligence by every day, every time I come home, I'll quickly go and rinse off the car. Like I'll rinse it off quickly and then park it, and then the next day I go out about whatever with the car. My dad said, "You're wasting money. The car's gonna be dirty anyways. Why are you doing so much?" Right? I'm like, I don't know. I want a clean car. And I thought to myself, maybe I am being crazy. Maybe that is a little too much. Then you tell me this.
Yeah, no.
I suddenly feel like I'm a normal person now.
Like
Thanks.
I washed the car this morning. Last night, and I knew it was gonna rain. Drove to my friend's just now to help with something. I washed the car there, and it just came just now. Because I gotta bring a clean car.
The car.
Even though it's not gonna be the main subject topic, I'm still gonna drive.
You're talking about your daily right now, the
Mini.
the
daily.
Oh my god, you mean the Mini?
Even the GTR. If I'm just driving to let's say I went to Street Seekers, which is just in Oakville. Bright day, no dust, nothing. I literally drove back. I saw a bit of dust on the back. Nope, washed it. The wheels are the worst. It's white wheels, and it's a black car. It's the worst combination. I always say to everybody, it's the worst combination for a clean car.
That is a humble brag. I don't know how to say this nicely to you, Victor. That is the most first world problem to have.
It is.
It's like, oh my gosh, guys, the white wheels on my R34 V-Spec is so hard to keep clean. If I don't clean it, it's gonna make the car look so bad, and then it looks like it's gonna lose value suddenly, and then we're just all looking like, you have a GTR.
And I'll never use detail sprays. I'll never dry clean the car because it literally will put scratches. I don't have PPF on the entire car yet, but I go to shows. I will never just start dry wiping, even with ceramic, like those spray detailers that are supposed to be like scratch resistant. No.
Well, so okay. Well, wait, you say your car's only half PPF right now? Then?
Yeah, so only the front end's PPF.
Oh, makes sense.
I gotta do the rest of the car. Now the livery's on, I can put the rest of it on. But yeah, so the wheels, that's why the brakes look very clean. It's because, it probably was barely on the brakes.
My head's spinning right now, my guy. Oh my god, I don't know if I can go through with it. I might punch you before
like this car is maintained insane. It's almost like scary levels of clean.
Oh my god.
The V gets the same treatment too. Every car in the household gets the same treatment. Like my neighbor's like, clean the car, it's gonna rain. I'm like, I know. Still doing it.
So?
Like I'm pretty sure the craziest person, but yeah, that's
gosh.
how you see the cars always so clean everywhere I go. Cause
I need to take inspiration from you.
No, don't follow me.
I'm taking inspiration.
Don't do
my
this.
My CRZ is so nasty right now, and it's like my excuse is it's the beater. Who cares? It's daily. Who cares?
Yeah, no. Even the Z, I wash.
Okay. Back to topic.
Yeah, back to topic.
What
so
else is
exterior wise, that's pretty much about it. Nismo S-Tune suspension. So you can see on the one wheel photo right there, that's kind of the height it's at. The functional height. I don't want to go any lower than this. It's perfect.
Honestly, that's perfect height. I love it.
It's even got Nismo control arms lower. They call it Circuit Pro like set. So it's instead of a full aluminum control arm, it splits it back into two pieces. And so they added a whole bunch of caster to the front. When they did alignment at Noble, they're like, they added a whole bunch of caster, which makes the car, really responsive now.
Yeah.
But
the center, the on center is really nice.
Yes. So it was a bit of a feeling change to that. Fog lights are Nissan OEM optional fog lights.
The bottom fog
yes.
light? Okay.
Yeah, not a lot of GTRs have those, and I wondered and it's actually all factory done into like the car, so they actually have a switch for it.
Oh, okay.
And it actually turns on all the interior lights and everything when I turn on the fog lights.
Okay.
And then the smoked tail turn signals, those are all Nismos as well. And then same the side signals are also Nismos or smoked.
So you still have the GTR gauge cluster.
So I have there's a Nismo gauge cluster now.
Yeah.
So the white
so
face.
this
is a Nismo.
Oh, okay, I see it.
So
okay.
no standard GTR gauge cluster only goes to 180 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, it's Japanese law thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the Nismo ones, they made two versions. They got the white face one and then the black face with the orange dials.
Yes, I'm not used to the black face, which is why the white face. I thought it was just the
I love the white face one because it matches the wheels. It's kind of a theme you'll start to see as
black and white.
Yes.
Monochrome.
Yeah. And then so you got Nismo speedometer. It's got Nismo MFD, which you probably see a lot of photos.
Oh.
So the Nismo MFD is pretty cool. Now that's also like a $10,000 item.
But dude, the MFD is so old now.
So the MFD, yeah. So the MFD usually you'll track all your like what was it? Coolant, oil temp.
Multi-function display.
Yes, multi-function.
MFD.
It even measures throttle position too.
Yeah.
So the Nismo MFD takes it a step crazier for a 2000s car. So you get a G meter, a G gauge. You get a gauge that actually tracks 1G all around.
G-forces.
Yes. So it tracks that.
Carbon steering wheel?
Yes. It had a sparkle wheel, and I put that on. I'm going to change that, actually. I don't like it anymore. I used to be carbon crazy. Now I'm just kind of dialing it back down now. So I'm probably going to get it. Probably going to get a suede and just like a mine steering wheel. But with the GTR airbag. With the... Yes. It's got a mine strut bar. I'm okay.
Interesting. You didn't go Nismo titanium.
At that time, the Mines was cheaper, and I also like the Mines plaque that's on the strut bar.
Mines mean so much, bro.
So,
the Mines mean so much.
I had a Mines ECU. I found I had a Mines ECU put into this car.
Oh, okay.
So when I swapped it out for Haltech, I wanted to put another Mines in, just for good luck. If I take something, I gotta put something back in. So
Victor.
Chinese, like kind of,
feng shui.
Yes.
Feng shui right there, bro. That's feng shui.
So yeah, I put a Mines strut bar back in. I'm like, okay, we're good. Oh no, the car never broke.
You know what you need? You need that Mines, the carbon, that ducktail.
Oh, no, I like my third brake light. I like the third brake light.
Oh, it covers it when you.
Yes, it covers it. So I don't want to lose that.
Today I learned.
Yes.
I learned so much.
The more you know. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's got the Nismo MFD going back. It's got a track timer. There's actually a button by my shifter that you literally are driving and you can literally hit it. And there's little icons on the bottom. Actually, you can set the temperature limit for like your water temp, your oil temp. So if you're lapping, if it gets to the limit, it actually will turn red on the MFD.
It'll show you.
It'll show you.
Oh wow, so cool.
Yeah, and it even gets even crazier. There's actually a connector that comes out only on Nismo MFD. It's a little computer connector. You can actually have somebody sit with a laptop. And actually track your all the data telemetry. Yes.
It logs. Oh my god.
For
so
2000,
useful.
this was insane. Yes, floppy disk and all that. So
it was like a floppy disk.
Yes. This is 2000. So that's literally So to the right there, you just had the data logging. You can literally track your throttle position, what your oil temp was. It literally tracks everything.
That
this
is so
and this
crazy.
is 2000. This you gotta remember. This is 2000s.
Well, you know about the lore, right? About Gran Turismo and MFD.
I don't know about this MFD. The R35 was done by Polyphony Digital.
Yeah, but they took a lot of inspiration from this into their games as well.
Oh, okay. That I did not know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like either the R34 had it, right? There was only the R34. R33 didn't.
Yes, R34 had this MFD.
Some of the displays and stuff was like, if you look at it, it looks like the game, yeah.
Okay, and it may be. That's why the R35 then took inspiration and did the exact same thing.
They did. Polyphony did the R34.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they did, right?
Okay, so
yeah, so one of the two happened. I don't know which one it was. I just remember there was inspiration behind it.
Yeah. So
thanks, man.
Perfect. So yeah, you data log and everything. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the bar. It also the boost bar goes from 1.2 bar to 2 bars.
Yeah.
So I still don't hit that. I only hit 1 bar on mine.
Well,
I'm only using half of it.
so I mean, if you want, you could use 2
No,
bars.
I'm good. That's way too much.
2
So-
bars would be almost 20. It's 28 or 29 psi.
I think that's it because I'm already at
14.7.
I think I'm running. Yeah,
So 14.7 times 2, 29.4, almost 30
that's
psi.
a lot of boost, man.
The engine will take it.
Oh, it will, but I'm gonna have to dump a lot more money to make sure it's stable. So my main kind of philosophy of this build is kind of like just so you'll see a lot of the S-Tune kind of name get thrown around is because that's kind of what I want to
Yes.
build this is. So the S-Tune spec is like 400 horsepower street spec.
Yes.
So reliable is kind of my main thing. So
S-Tune, street
yes.
tune. Yeah.
So I don't want to do so they have the R-Tune, which is a 2.8 liter build, 500 horsepower.
Stroker kit, yeah.
Yeah. So for me, it's fun, reliable response. Like when Tony actually dyno tuned this as well, and the torque is just from start to finish, just flat all the way through, and the power just rises. It keeps going, just going in red line and then just stops there. I don't want the ones where it's just like nothing. Oh yeah, boost.
No, you don't want that.
So it's like the 2J single like that.
Yeah, that's what twin turbo is better, bro. These are sequential twin turbos, right? No, parallels?
Yeah, parallels.
Oh.
No, they're not like RX-7s where they're sequential. They're just full on 1 turbo per 3 cylinder.
Ah, very nice.
Yeah.
That's why it makes so much power. 280? Stop lying.
So 370 all wheel horsepower. So I do.
Right now you're at 370?
Yeah, I'm at 370 all wheel. So it's fun. It's fun to roll through the gears. But
Because it's still usable. That's the thing. You can still go through the gears.
yes, I can have fun and not look like I'm going to be breaking the speed limit.
Yes. You can actually step on it.
Exactly.
You know?
So yeah, so in the interior, yeah, so that, and then I got Nismo carpets, Nismo pedals, and it's even got there's probably none in the photo you'll be able to find. So on the side, so on the dash side and on the door side, there's actually little like bumps that actually like kind of protrude out, and it positions so that your leg is perfectly straight with the throttle, and this had optional parts. They're like $2-3 grand on Yahoo Auctions. They're hilarious. They're literally little plastic pieces, rubber plastic.
I know
pieces.
exactly what you're talking about.
They're just literally just to hold you in place.
Modern sports cars deliberately made so that the hump is there, so you don't really notice it.
Yeah.
But when you're driving, the BRZ, I get, or that is that or I have big feet.
Yeah.
But whenever I'm driving the BRZ and my throttle, right, I can't bank my foot left or right. If I bank it, it's like I'm like tippy toeing into the throttle. So if I'm doing it properly, my foot is right on the throttle straight, and I can't move my foot.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my god.
At first, I didn't like it because I was like, oh my god, it's so small.
Cramped.
Because actually, I'll just drop this little kind of bombshell. This is my first manual car. I learned on it. I put a new clutch in Japan. I said, when it gets here, I need to learn how to ride manual. This is my first manual car. I did it wrong. I did it wrong.
You raw dogged the hell out of the car.
I was like, hey, it's right-hand drive. What's the point of me learning this? I might as well learn it from here.
Might as well learn my left hand.
Yeah. So when I get
my hand doesn't jerk
so when
very
I get a left-hand car, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, not this side. So I learned manual in this.
That is a.
Put a new clutch in it. I was like, hey, if I'm gonna screw this up, it's $3 grand worth of clutch. So it's a Nismo clutch I put in.
Luckily, because it is a RB, you probably won't screw it up as
No,
fast as you
it's
think.
a Nismo clutch, so it's very drivable. It's a twin plate, but it's a drivable twin plate.
The fact that so this was twin plate.
So yeah, it's a copper mix twin plate clutch.
Honestly, I'm actually scared because the next upgrade for my BRZ.
Yeah.
Sidebar. My BRZ right now has a TRD flywheel, so it's 6 pounds lighter than the standard flywheel. Yeah. Not much, but again, my philosophy and your philosophy, same. Has to be streetable.
Yes.
I don't need race car parts on it because I'm not gonna like my car after that.
It's gonna get worse.
I'm just gonna be like, I don't want to drive this, right? So I literally got a TRD one, spent way too much money on it. You know how JDM parts are. But I didn't get the TRD or the STI clutch upgrade. It's still single plate, it's still a standard clutch, but it's just different material, so different clutch material.
Also grippier.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be just be more aggressive, right? And the pressure plate's supposed to be a little stiffer, but it's still not twin plate. I am so scared. I want a twin plate because the engagement is all there, but I'm also scared that by having a twin plate and then I'm stuck in traffic, I might just off myself. Because it's like, every time you ride off and on, there's it just grabs immediately. I'm so scared of that.
So this twin plate, it's you can slip. It
allows you to slip.
It allows you to slip. As a twin plate, it doesn't drive like a twin plate. It almost drives like a single plate. It's very easy. Like
I'm
for
so
me,
jealous.
and the lightweight. It has a lightweight flywheel built in as well. But
Nice.
aside from the twin plate rattle that I do get sometimes if I let off in neutral, and
That's normal.
and that's it.
You know what's funny? I don't think it's clutch rattle. I think it's flywheel chatter. Because when I got the TRD flywheel,
Yeah.
there's a paper, Japanese, but there's also English on it. May experience flywheel chatter. It's normal.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sometimes I get it and we're like, is that a curve? I'm like, yeah, no, it's just my twin plate. But it's street. It's not, the clutch pedal isn't super hard. It's not bad, but you have to be careful. You got, if you're going like, for example, aftermarket stuff, they might be very grippy.
That's
they might be like
true.
on and off, and I can't drive those.
I hate those. Yeah.
Like I can pretty much like barely any gas, and the car will start moving.
And it just starts grabbing it.
Yeah, it starts grabbing.
Smoothly
Yeah.
though.
Yes. Oh, it's linear.
Oh,
Like
nice.
Nismo made that clutch to be
I'm so
like expected.
jealous. Yeah, it's still disc style, right?
Yes.
It's not puck style.
No, still disc.
I think okay,
So,
maybe I need.
if you go with ST, like if it's a manufacturer branded like sport clutch,
Yeah.
they usually have drivability as their priority.
It warned me, dude. So when you look at a TRD catalog,
Yeah.
you can go through the clutches and then the pressure plate.
Yeah.
It warns you will be. It basically says will be stiffer than you would anticipate, and then it's like they give you the Newton meter of resistance that it comes with,
Oh, geez,
and
okay.
it's a large amount. It's like
Oh.
it's a big number, and I'm scared because of that because it's a big number.
Oh.
But it's also meant for street use. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's a street hybrid.
Like if it's
Gymkhana.
yeah,
It's a
so
Gymkhana style.
if it's meant like if it's offered from manufacturer, then
It shouldn't be that
far.
crazy.
Like the clutch was rated for 470 horsepower. 470 horsepower on mine. I'm like I don't think I'm gonna get there, but you know, I think 470 or 670. That might be the competition model, but yeah. I was like, I wanted to go with just like an OEM replacement, but my friend's like, why? You already take the clutch out. Just put something nice in there.
Yeah, put something.
I'm like, it's a twin plate. I don't want the rattle. I don't want the stiff clutch.
I don't want the.
Yeah, I don't want the herky jerky.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but no, overall, it's been pretty good.
Nice.
I've done what 10,000 some odd kilometers now on it, and
You don't
no
drive
issues.
the car, do you?
I don't drive that much. Only on weekends. And if it's somewhere I know I'm gonna get mobbed, I'm not gonna get mobbed because it's a
Is that
GTR.
GTR?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
R34, wow.
yes. So that's kind of things I've done. So yeah, in terms of that, so the engine side gets a little more crazy, I guess. So you got the
Okay.
mine strut bar, the Nismo intake collector, the charge pipe, Nismo intercooler, which is oversized. It's like 4 inches of thickness. It's so oversized for what
Yeah.
my power level, but the owner put it in. I was like, no, I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
I bought Nismo intercooler pipes for it, like the side pipes for the intercooler. Now the engine. The engine was actually overhauled at Nissan in 2012. So when it had 120,000. So back then it would have been a 6-year, 40,000 kilometer go overhaul. And they completely did the whole entire like block and everything.
How much kilometers? How many kilometers?
It had 120. Well, no,
120.
I'm sorry, 120 when it had the overhaul. I bought it with 145, I think.
Okay.
145 or 155? 155, sorry.
Sure.
And then it's at 169 now.
So it's only 40,000 kilometers since the overhaul.
40, yeah, 40. Wow. So yeah, and they went. I actually. So one of the documents actually had the name owner of the car. So I was able to find that name and find on Facebook. And the only reason why I knew it was him because he had a photo of a taillight of a GTR with the LEDs.
And
And I'm like, okay, well, this name and GTR, what are the chances of it? So I measured him. I didn't I messaged him when I first got all his documents because I don't stalking, I guess.
that's actually crazy. Okay.
Yeah, we'll
go
go
on.
through more. There's more. So I messaged him, that day I won it. I saw the documents, and then I didn't hear anything for 3 years until out of the blue one day I just get a message, and he's like, "Yes, that is my car. My old car." I was like, "Oh my god!" And actually, he had a little bit of English. He was able to tell me a whole bunch of stuff done with the car, and I thought it was just a simple overhaul. No, he optioned for some crazy stuff done to it. So the block, sorry, what was it the block, connecting rods, oil pump, gears, piston skirts, they were all, what do they call it? I think it's like a shot blast process. I forgot the term for it.
Okay.
But so they actually do like a hardening process on the surface of the metal to strengthen it essentially. I think it's like I don't remember the name. There's a term for it. It's pretty expensive. And then they sent it off to like an additional molybdenum coating onto it.
Oh,
So
okay.
in total, I have the bill for it. It was like a $10,000 overhaul.
Of 2020.
And that's just parts. No
Yeah.
labor. Labor wasn't even counted. It's just labor of 2012.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I was insane. I never got the answer why the engine like needed an overhaul in the first place. I assume it was just from wear. Because the GTRs, they have solid lifters. So over time it does, I guess it wore, and so they just went, oh, it's just the
Since
car
you're there.
Yeah, the car has so much Nissan receipt, it just looks like they just went there on a weekend and just replaced things. This is this binder, this part of it.
Wait, what's that?
So this is all the receipts. I'm just gonna show. Yes, I like Pokemon. If you haven't known, can't tell. This is all the actual physical receipts from a Nissan dealer
Yes.
for
I see
almost
it.
all of its life.
Wow.
And it's just parts on parts, like little boots, little bolts, oil change, chacun, drive shaft, half shafts, wheel
my
bearings,
gosh.
brake pads. Everything's all done at Nissan, all Nissan.
Oh my god.
And I totaled it up. I actually sat there, was bored enough to sit with the calculator and total up everything. It was about $30,000 worth
Repairs?
of maintenance.
Sorry.
That's not including the Nismo parts. These are
And
just,
yeah, Oakville.
oh yeah, I started adding into it.
Oh my gosh.
But it's crazy.
Do you mind sharing with us how much you paid for the car?
Unfortunately, I cannot share that.
Okay.
I will, yeah. I think just because the price now, what I say now is what I paid now of then is irrelevant because let's just say there's 3-4 times what I paid. Like that's being conservative. It was cheap back then.
It was actually
It was that cheap.
affordable.
Yes. I haven't really told anybody really how much I paid because anybody that would know would just drop, like, they would just drop their jaw.
I mean, I just I looked at them for a while, right? Like I'm not looking for buying. It was
Yeah.
kind of one of those how much is it moments. I know for a fact that at one point the Evo 6s were like 10 grand landed into Canada.
Oh, yeah.
I was
My friend had a Stagia Autech back
Yeah.
in 2011. He bought it, I think it was like 10 grand.
yeah,
That
right.
was an Autech. That was a GTR wagon
Exactly.
for 10 grand.
If you wish. If you will. If you
Yeah.
want to call it that, you can call it that.
Yes.
It's not GTR.
Yes.
Sorry. Wait, no, you have a GTR. I can say that. My cousins also had an R32, and they got it landed here. So this would have probably when I was in about 15 years ago. They got it here landed 8K. R32
Yep.
GTRs.
They were worth nothing.
They were garbage.
Well, that's why a lot of them now, like, people are like literally just putting lipsticks on a pig and putting it in auction because they're
They don't
they're
make
worth
money.
so much money now.
Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking for your car, I'm like, I have a guess about how much it probably costs.
Oh yeah.
It's more than a B or Z, but it's not gonna be more than a new probably Nismo Z's are 40,
They're like
50?
79.
79? Yeah, so it'd be less than that. I know that. It's between
Yes.
there.
Yep.
So
Like back then, I can at least say this: when I bought it, I had I knew they were appreciating. I was like, okay, if they stay at like 100 grand, I'll be good. I can spend money on this car and still break even or make just a tiny bit of profit. And back then when I bought this car, I was like, black GTR. I don't think I want it. I'm gonna change probably to a silver one or something. I wanted a silver one. I don't like respraying a whole car because then when you look at the VIN plate, it doesn't match the paint.
yeah. Trust me on this one. My BRZ right now, I'm struggling, okay? I know this.
So I was like, no, and the paint's like pretty like meh. Like aside from the bumper, the hood, everything else is. Oh, the trunk was repainted, but everything else was
odd, okay.
So the trunk was repainted because there's a very known issue on the third brake light because that area collects water, it rusts. So that was repainted. That wasn't fresh paint because you can just see a little bit off. But everything else was still original paint. Even has the typical Japanese acid rain stains on the car.
Japan has acid rain?
Well, they live by. Well, it's just like salt rain, I guess.
Oh.
And then the salt deposits kind of on it, so you just see little rain like
I'm
spots.
learning
everywhere.
so much from you today, Victor. Like,
So that car had to be polished to get the paint back to spec. And again, this car was a Sapporo car, which usually you don't want to buy from there. It's like buying cars here to go take it down to Texas. Rust.
Okay.
So
okay.
rust was a really big issue with this thing. So when I bought this, I was like, oh, because the Achilles heel for every GTR and every owner, every person that knows the GTR will start looking at strut towers.
Larry Chen taught me that.
They're gonna touch you too.
Yeah, Larry Chen taught me
Strut towers are the Achilles heel in this car. Back then, because Nissan, when they made this car, they were literally about to go bankrupt. So
Yeah.
the strut tops are literally just kind of put on top of each other. and just kind of welded on the side. So the interior is completely open. So if you break the seal, your moisture gets in.
To be fair, during that time, the metal was just not good in Japan. Like the whole law. You remember the lawsuit in like 2010? I think it was. The Mazda was suing the iron company.
Every like Mazda 3 prototypes.
Yeah, and then it was Mazda 3s weren't built in Japan. Some of them, and then they had a whole lawsuit with a Japanese iron company because there was so much contaminant in there, and it affected also like Honda back in the day and all that stuff.
I thought they just didn't put enough like corrosion protection on it.
It was way more than that. It went way deeper.
Yeah, every one I see the fender, just rear fender just not even there.
Exactly. So that's why, like, especially during that, it's still a 90s car. And 90s metal was just trash.
So luckily mine didn't have any of that issue. I didn't have bubbling paint.
Okay.
I was, because of the address, I was able to find where the car was. It was stored in a garage.
Oh,
which is also another thing, because Japan, you don't usually, garages are a luxury.
Yes.
They're usually just open either roof or just straight open.
If you will, a shelter, like with a little visor, yeah.
So yeah, that's why the paint's not faded, because it was stored in a garage.
Honestly, I thought your car was, you repainted the car or something. Like you went and got a new clear coat on it.
Yeah, no, it's that paint's still the
It's just
original.
polished, right?
Yes, it's just polished like crazy.
That's crazy.
So yeah, so the car literally escaped. There was maybe just a minor little bit of like bubbling I had fixed on one of the rear wheels, rear fender, like where the bumper meets the fender.
Typical.
I had that done painted, and that's why I put the fender covers in after, because I'm like, if I'm painting, just do the whole thing and then put the cover on it. So aside from that, was the only thing. The underside is pretty clean for what it is. For the kilometers, and you want a car that's got kilometers, because again, that means it's been maintained. All the seals have been done. All the cars gets oiled, regularly.
And let's be real, then now when you drive it, it's actually you're driving a car that has been driven.
Yeah, the car still has Shaken when it left Japan. It still had Shaken, was still available to register and drive in Japan without having to do an inspection. It was still good for another year, I think, year and a half.
Sidebar: the Shaken is the vehicle.
It's the vehicle inspection.
And then what's the do you know the process like how it works?
So I think it's every 2 years, and they go through everything, including vehicle height. They measure the vehicle height, exhaust, like condition-wise. They literally go down to under your chassis and literally with a little hammer, anything that looks like there's rust, they'll hit it, because if it breaks, it's a fail. They check headlight aim. They literally do a road test. Obviously, your ball joints can't have any noises.
Yeah.
So yeah, they literally go through the whole entire vehicle.
How do those camera boys get away with that?
They literally will have stock parts saved somewhere. So when it's time to do Shaken, they will literally raise it all back up.
But then don't they also roll and pull fenders where they're
so fenders you can I think fenders you can attach them, and it does, as long as the wheels don't poke out, you're fine.
So it's like, so basically even if they roll and pull them, it doesn't matter because
I don't think it matters. It's just the wheels can't poke. So they'll put like some stock wheels with the worst offset you can find.
So it's all sunk in.
Yeah, so it's all sunk, because that's all they care. They just sunk in. Wings, they just take off the wing because they can't have the wing blades past the vehicles. Yeah, so they
Can
do all that.
be taller than a vehicle? Can I be wider than a vehicle?
Yes. So they'll do all that, and then once it's done Shaken, good for a year or two, they put everything back in.
The dedication.
Well, that's why Japan cars, they're just maintained to a whole new level. Like they
have to now.
Yes.
They just otherwise they can't be certified. They can't be driven. So.
Yep. And they get charged on engine size too.
Yes, the taxes.
Yes.
Which is why a bunch of cars are 2 liters.
2 liters, yes, or under.
Yeah, because
2.6. So.
Yeah, because it's still under 3.
Correct.
Yeah, and then no.
Yep. So
I'm learning so much today. It's so fun.
So aside from that, the interior wise, that's about it. As much Nismo shift knob. Actually, Nismo shift knob, which is a funny thing, it had a Nismo shift knob. It got stolen on the ship when it came here. But I'm actually happy because they didn't steal anything else. They didn't steal the raised caps. I had the carbon fiber Nismo license plate frame that's on the car.
Yeah.
They didn't take that.
That's so weird.
But they usually will take things. Like shift knobs are usually the easiest thing to take out. I was like, yes, if that's the offering, you take the shift knob.
If I lose a shift knob just so I can keep everything else you put on the car, yes.
So my friend, he had his GTR import. He had the rare gold emblems. They all got taken off.
I didn't even know they make gold emblems.
So they do make gold emblems, and they're really expensive. I've been slowly collecting them and putting them on my cars. Right now, I just have the gold GTR emblems. I have a Nissan one. I finally found one. But literally, somebody was at the port, either on the ship, was literally with a screwdriver and literally pried them off.
Yeah, because they're so valuable.
They're $2-3 grand for emblems. And back then, nobody cared about gold emblems because you see those on mom and pop's like golden Camry.
I love those gold emblems. The best meme is, like you said, as a kid looking at it, it's like, that's a little tacky, no?
Yeah, it's gold emblem.
But then, dude, now that I'm looking at like an old like first gen LS
Oh, yes.
400,
The
I'm
gold
like,
emblem.
oh, the gold emblem pops so hard, bro.
So with a
It's-
black car, I was like, I need those emblems. So I've been slowly
Wow.
just searching them.
Damn.
So it's a little bit like gaudy a bit because it's just like
I wouldn't call
this is flexing to a whole new
This
level.
is literally you going. This is putting grills on. This
Yeah,
is literally putting
totally
grills in the
grill.
most literal sense. Because on the grill too.
Yes.
So that's literally putting on grills and going, oh, you know, like
Yeah,
going
check
off
out
the
the yeah.
grills.
So I have a Nissan one to go with it. I just need the side GT ones.
Mm.
So yeah. So aside from that, and
All
then
OEM part numbers too.
yes,
You're nuts. I love it.
and that's why my build's taking forever, and it's just slowly doing that. All my builds are just like they don't look that much. Like I always look, I'm like, oh, I didn't really do that much compared to like some cars I see on the show where it just went all out.
No.
But then I do a parts list. I'm like, oh crap, that's a lot.
I totally understand because I think this is why we get along. We're the same kind of autism. We're on the same spectrum at this point because my BRZ is literally a 1/10 scale of what you spend of your build effectively.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing the same similar thing, other than the fact that you know about my body kit. It's a Toyota body kit.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a Toyota aftermarket, like a Toyota like subdivision
Yes.
body kit on the car, even though it's a Subaru. But let's be real, it's the same thing at this point.
Yep. Well, I know back then you said you liked that kit more than the
The
Subaru did.
SCI did, yeah, because
Yeah.
the SCI looks cheap, right?
Exactly.
So this is exactly what me and you are like same kind of weird because I just want OEM Plus. The only thing I didn't do that was OEM Plus was the wing. The wing is the
Oh.
only thing because it's an artistic spirit, but like let me have that one, okay? There's no good wings from.
Yeah.
I don't want an STI wing, okay? It looks stupid.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's the only thing, right? So I totally understand when you said $3,000 on a freaking emblem. I went out of my way. I don't think I saw you up until recent. No, I have not.
It's been a while.
I bought my STI gauge cluster.
Oh shit. Okay, now you didn't tell me.
Yeah, I didn't tell you. And I literally, it was such a pain because you need I think in Japan, in Japan it's the STI, because the STI Sport. You need that STI Sport VIN in order for you to buy the STI gauge cluster.
Oh.
And
jeez.
I went through lengths and G-Zox, thank God for Richard taking care of me all the
Yeah.
time. He went lengths and found someone in Japan that he knows, pulled that VIN, went to Subaru Japan just to order the STI gauge cluster. It's brand new. Dude, I had 0 kilometers on it.
Damn.
Now I have kilometers on it. Big flex.
Yeah, holy smokes. That's the type of stuff I love. Like just the amount of
We're
great
the same
length.
kind of weird.
And you can't nobody's gonna know your gauge.
No one's gonna know
Nobody's
until they look at it.
No, they're not gonna even look at that. They're gonna look at your seats, they're gonna look at your shift knob.
Yeah. Also, STI shift knob too. But
Yeah, but like the STI gauge, like what does it look? Is it just got the little STI number or is it a completely different gauge face?
okay, overall,
Yes.
from a glance, it's identical. From a glance, if you just look into it,
Yeah.
it's identical. But just like how you know Nismos have like the line, like so you obviously have more speed now, right?
Yes.
It goes to 320. I don't got that. And that part
Oh,
never
it's still the
changed.
same.
However, because my car is Canadian, it doesn't have miles per hour anymore.
Oh, that's
Canadian
better.
cars, it has
Yeah.
miles per hour. But now in Japanese cars, it's just straight
It's just
kilometers.
kilometer an hour.
The other thing that no one will really notice is, you know, the number, and there's always a line indicator to
Yes.
that number. On the STI one, it's a rectangle cutout. So it's a cutout rather than a solid line.
I want to see this now.
I know, I don't have my car here. My car is in storage.
Man, you
I
should,
know.
next time rip that gate cluster out. I want to see it.
I don't know, yeah.
Yeah, just rip it out. I
I
want to see
ended
it.
up selling my OEM one too, so that's the best
Oh,
part.
somebody wanted that?
Because I have my version of the MFD, because the one with the digital display with all the oil temp, water temp, and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, I ended up selling it because I'm like, why as well? And I imported that cluster, right? So again, that's why I totally can relate to you when you say it's a little gaudy. I'm like, no, it's not. That's literally it's those little details that'll separate your car from the rest of the cars. When you look at certain, like, I'm gonna use a GTR for example. Everyone tries to replicate the Paul Walker.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
they try to do the whole Z tune.
Yes.
And that's it. There's no real everything, and then there's all that in between where people just like start like cutting into the car, putting weird body kits on it and
Yes.
everything, right? But then that's like such a big makeover.
Yeah. Well,
That's why it's that's why it's like, oh wow, ooh, right?
Yeah.
But then what you're doing is literally just doing little subtle details, and then eventually it makes the whole picture, and then that becomes your little thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the main thing is just I'm trying to make my car look like it's stuck in the 90s or the 2000s. Like it's literally stuck in that time period. And again, I have parts that are from 90. Like the car was built in February. There's actually a registry for it. It's crazy. The car was built in February '99. I have Nismo certificates of February 27th. So literally the moment the car was built, probably delivered, probably no miles, and then it had the speedometer, the bumper,
That's
the wheel.
so cool. I wish.
There's actually in my old stories.
Yeah.
Actually, it's actually a brochure, not this brochure. I have a bunch of hold up GTR stuff.
Yeah, so
There's actually Nismo like catalog books, and my car actually looks like that, but blue on the catalog brochure from Nismo. So I wonder the owner in Japan literally was like, bought the GTR, was like, yes, I want all of this. How much? Yes.
No, he didn't say how much. Yes, he said, can you do it? Yes. Okay. Budget? Yes.
Yes. I bought the car and just went to town and all that stuff. That's why the Nismo clutch, those are all like this. Like my speedometer certificate was 0 kilometers because not 0, but like 5 kilometers or something like that. It was literally like brand new. The owner's like, no, I don't want that trash. Just put all the Nismo stuff on.
So the Nismo cluster was also done by.
It was done at Nismo, done like at the dealer that the car was purchased from. Like the car just literally in its entire life was just Nismo, and it was ordered. It was ordered as with privacy glass. So there's options: a privacy glass and audioless. It was audio deleted, like the center audio.
That's so funny.
Because they wanted the Nissan dealer to put like Pioneer speakers into it. So I have Pioneer speakers, and they call it like Nissan N-Fit. It was like an aftermarket offered by the dealer. So it's like, I was like, yeah, my car's ordered audioless, and there was other options too. You get navigation for the car, you can get 6 speakers, you can get side airbags for the car, seat airbags.
I love how Vem's just like working so hard trying to find a gauge cluster, but you can't find it. Trust me.
That's how rare your cluster is. That's crazy.
Because it was on the OEM BRZ STI Sport, so you had to go through Japanese catalogs
So you
or
can't
a
find
Japanese
it here.
review.
You can't buy it here.
You could buy a TS version. But then
Oh.
it's similar because it's literally, it's identical realistically, but then it has the miles per hour. And I was so determined to not have that.
So that's the gauge? Well, obviously without the miles per hour in the middle.
So instead of miles per hour, it's kilometers, and there's no miles per hour at all. And it doesn't have that brake light. So that's a handbrake light.
That's a US
US safety mandatory thing, right? Yeah, so, but then it doesn't look like that. That's the problem. And also, this looks a little funky because the needle's light up.
But the STI gauge, that STI logo is there.
It's still there.
See, I love this shit because normal approach is like, oh yeah, it just looks like a regular gauge, but they missed the STI logo. I love this.
And it's so subtle too, right? Again, all the difference. No, this one doesn't even have what I have realistically on the miles per hour. Yeah, so it's
but
so different.
Okay, but yeah, I love that. Nobody will see that.
Yeah, nobody.
But when
will
you
ever
get in
see
the car, you turn it on, you see that.
You want an Easter egg? A funnier Easter egg?
What?
So when you open the door, it has a little icon for which doors open.
Yeah.
So I found out something that's very interesting. So the way that it's wired is not left door, right door. It's driver door, passenger door. You know how I found out? When I opened my driver door.
Oh, it opens it. It's the wires are flipped.
Yeah, because it's driver door.
Oh.
Right? And I
So
was
when you
like,
open it, like the passenger door, like this is the passenger door.
When I found that out, I was laughing so hard. The way to do it is just like you have to flip a pin. So you have to flip
it's a plug connector.
But I don't want to do that because if I do that, I modified it and then people don't know I have a JDM gauge cluster.
You kept it for the sake of.
For the memes, I had to tell them I bought it from Japan.
Oh
I
my
imported
God.
it brand new, 0 kilometers. All those mileage now is my mileage. I use this gauge cluster.
I'm driving in JDM speed.
Mm.
That's hilarious. But I love that. See, and that's what I did on the Z was I found a Nismo cluster and I literally converted it because I didn't want the miles per hour.
Yeah.
And I literally actually cut out the Nismo tack part and removed the original one and put that one on. Oh. And I literally had the cluster open and driving, and I would literally try to get the RPMs correct.
Wait, you had to dial it?
I had to dial it because I had to remove the needle. And when you had the needle, I didn't know it actually there's a spring pressure on it, so it literally sprung down. Because when I started the car, it was like the red was like there. I'm like, that's not right. So I literally in my back area of my house, I have a straight road. I would literally set it to like on my GPS, I'll say 80 kilometers. Okay, 80. I'll then have to take the speedometer and be like, okay, needle 80 now.
Oh.
And then our RPM on my OBD reader, I would read what the RPM and then okay, there it is.
I might need your help. I have a project that I might need your your finesse with.
Yeah?
We'll talk about it later.
Okay, we'll talk about that later.
You'll know when you know. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Oh my God. Okay.
So
okay.
yeah, I did that. So that's on the gauge. That's why I love seeing this type of stuff. Like for example, you had before Ratty, every little detail on his Z, I loved it. I was a kid, and that's actually that.
It's just that distinguished the car from everything else now.
Yes.
Just that little bit. I don't need a big wing to tell people I have a wing.
No,
It's
you have these little Easter eggs, little stuff on there that nobody would know, and when you're introduced, you're like, wow.
So funny.
That's why at car shows, if I can speak to somebody, go over their cars, I'm more interested in that aspect. Same vice versa.
The little things that makes
it adds up.
It adds up. Oh my gosh.
So 2018. So the GTR. That's kind of in the nutshell what that entire car is at the moment.
Yeah.
So then I'll kind of tangent over to kind of the Z now. So 2020.
Okay, you do want to talk about your Z. Okay,
I actually like the Z. I do sometimes like the Z more than the GTR.
Wow.
This is a hot take. This is gonna be a take.
Dude, my guy's gonna get a.
I'm gonna get rid of
the GTR.
But everybody that knows me, that I've dumped way too much money into the Z. Though the Z actually has a little more sentimental value as well. So
all right, I want to hear.
So 2020, around October, the Z popped up for sale. Now I've actually known the Z way longer than 2020.
This exact
Z. So the reason being is it had all the whole Nismo kit and it was blue. Now Nismo never offered this in blue. This is actually a standard Z.
Yes.
So it had the rear bumper, the side skirts, and the front bumper, and those wheels. Those wheels are Nismo Z.
Yes, those are Nismo wheels. Yes.
The kit was actually painted incorrectly. You can see from the rear bumper, it's all blue.
Yes.
The whole car was painted one color. You're supposed to have gray around the whole bottom as like an accent.
Around the muffler area?
No, yeah, and even the lip. So this lip part that I painted gray, it was all blue. And it didn't have that spoiler, that wing on the back, which is Nismo wing. I didn't have that as well. It just had like a little
like a little ducktail.
Ducktail, like it was standard on the standard Z.
Yeah.
I actually did this car from 2013. When I bought my G37, I saw this car for sale. But at that time, I didn't care for the 3DZ because I was like, 2-door, it's useless. 4 doors, 4 doors, more doors.
Way!
You can put people in it. I love it.
Yeah.
So then I always knew about them. Like, it's cool. It's it's a standard Z. It blue, San Marino blue, and it had the Nismo kit. No, it looked good. Fast forward 2020, I saw it popped up again, but except it was in Quebec. It was in Montreal.
Interesting.
It was actually dragged around a couple times, but it was all stock. Just had the Nismo kit. It had an accident history. It had the front and rear accident, which I assume is when the Nismo kit went on.
Yeah.
It was a 2008. Now I only found this out later. There's a registry for this too as well. I'm gonna pull up my Corvette socks.
Let me show you.
This was the last Blue Z they made.
Wow.
For US and Canada. So the VIN number, actually the whole VIN range for this was all Nismo 350Zs. At that time when this car was being made, they were already ending production for the 350Z. They were just literally making 350Z Nismos for the US. There was no other VIN. These had to be special order from dealer. There's actually another VIN like 7 cars after me, which was the last Z for all of Canada. It was a like a black manual.
Okay.
But yeah, there's just kind of a fun tidbit information. But they only made like 6, I think, of this color 2008. No, they made 100,000. At the end of the day, they made hundreds and thousands. They're dime a dozen.
Yeah.
But it's just, for me, it's just, I knew this car and it just made it that much more special.
The little subtle details.
Yes. So obviously, not a lot of people really care about that, but I just, I like to bring it up sometimes.
I do.
So for this car, because it had the Nismo, like the 3/4 of the Nismo kit. Now the wing, the spoiler, I couldn't find it. It was discontinued.
But then
I found it in Quebec, of all random places. I dragged my friend, actually, Ben. He's probably going to watch this later on. But I actually, one day, I saw the post for a whole entire trunk with the spoiler. I was like, oh my God. It was actually north of Quebec.
Okay, not
On
that
a
bad.
Friday, after we finished work, I literally I had a family member that was able to rent me a van, a Toyota Sienna, which that was going to be funny. We literally, Friday night, we're like, hey, we're going to go there. It's like a 15-hour drive.
Oh, there and back.
Yeah, we literally bombed it almost to the Montreal, and we literally slept for a couple hours because we were so tired.
Because of work, right? Yeah.
So we drove to Montreal. The starter motor died on the Sienna. I was like, oh, this might not happen. So I luckily had CA. I towed it to a Canadian Tire. Thank goodness for Toyota Siennas and their V6. The starter motor's on the top, right? I think it's either above the not on the intake manifold. It's like it's on the top. I didn't have to get underneath the car. It
Okay.
was right there.
You could just access it.
I can access it with simple tools. I was so happy.
You did it yourself?
We did it in the parking lot.
Oh my God.
And it had, and the Canadian Tire didn't have a starter. I think it was like a parts source style, or like Napa.
Okay.
They had a starter. Literally put it in, and that was it.
Oh my
I was
gosh.
like, we're gonna cancel. I was gonna have to tow the shit back to Toronto, but no, we fixed it, and then we hauled it. Middle of nowhere. There's literally no cell reception. The people didn't speak any English.
You were
In the boonies.
Right
I
now.
was in the boonies. I was like, I'm gonna die.
I'm gonna get murked.
The car, there was no, okay, the driveway literally had no signs of a 350Z.
Okay.
In the back shed, by the grass, literally nothing around it.
Just
inside, I'm like, my friend, like, this is it, man. We have no cell reception. We
You're
can't
getting
even run.
screamed. You're gonna get like, you know,
And
Michael
in there,
Myers.
in there was the trunking thing spoiler. I don't know why these little family.
Do they part out cars?
I don't know. I asked them if they had any other parts of cars. They just kind of tried to speak to me in French, but I couldn't. And my Google Translate didn't work because I didn't have data. I was like, oh, maybe they would have had parts, but no, they just had that thing sitting there.
It was only that.
It was just only that. I was so happy to get that because eBay, you can find the wing spoilers, but they're fiberglass and they're very heavy. The Nismo genuine ones, they're actually a 3-piece spoiler. The top part,
Yes.
the bottom part, and then the centerpiece is all
The
removed.
centerpiece.
The centerpiece support is actually a separate piece.
Oh, I know about the base because that's
Yeah.
why it's a deck,
Yes.
so they can support the wing.
Yes.
I didn't know that the centerpiece.
The centerpiece
was,
comes off as well, and this is how you can get the Amuse extended piece for the top because it mounts.
The Amuse piece is the Nismo wing with an extension.
Yes.
Oh, I never knew
You
that.
can get it long. You can get it longer, I think.
Oh, I never knew that.
Same with the Amuse kit, the Run the Ratty. It's essentially my bumper, but more aggressive.
Yeah, but that's a Amuse bumper though.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why I.
But you can get I think it's either, or it might be MCR. I might be wrong. It might be MCR Amuse. One of the kit it offers an extended, more aggressive, and a little gurney flap. at the end.
Wow.
So, but yeah, I literally took the spoiler off and I had the Nismo emblem because of the genuine hatch.
Yeah.
So I transferred it all over.
Also, question for you: the exhaust is it a S-tune exhaust?
Yes, it's a Nismo S-Tune exhaust. It's a resonator and muffler.
But did you do that, or was it came?
Nope.
It came with the
The
car.
car was essentially everything was stock. There was no aftermarket parts on the car.
No, but like you bought the car like that,
No, it had
So-
it had a stock exhaust.
and then you bought the
And
S-tune.
I found an S-Tune exhaust. It was actually a friend of mine now, and he owns multiple Z's, and he had this muffler exhaust combo, so I took it.
I'm still waiting to find an STI catback. Cause
This car, same philosophy as the GTR, everything Nismo.
this is why we're friends.
So Nismo exhaust, and then exterior wise. So then I finally completed the exterior, got it all painted correctly, and so it all matches. S-Tune, Japanese S-Tune 350Z suspension, not the North American Nismo 350Z suspension.
So
So,
the
it
little-
lower the car just a little bit.
A little bit more and a little stiffer
Yeah.
compared to the North American
Yep.
ones.
So and then Z1 Motorsports 2-piece rotors all around, just because why not?
See, I'm gonna sidebar again. This is exactly why sometimes I'm like, when people are like Japanese parts is better than North American parts, I go like, depends. It really depends.
Yes.
In this case, I do think that this is the little details, but like if you were to compare it to the North American S-Tune, Z-Tune ones, would have suited our roads better overall, because like they're more managed for our rough terrains and stuff, right? But then you don't get that little lowerness that you need. Like,
Yep.
You want that.
It lowers just that half an inch, and it's just enough. And obviously, we're gonna get to this part. We're gonna
I'll punch you when I saw those. I'm this close to decking you, bro.
I'm gonna say it. So I found these on Kijiji. Just stumbling one day. Obviously, the bags were blown, but the guy was selling for $1,500.
Did you fix it?
Yes, I did. I'll explain. So I bought these for $1,500, and he was I think he was a new market. My friend, he has a tire store, Offset 21. I was like, hey, I can't get there, but I want to pick these up now because somebody's gonna steal these. He's like, can the guy deliver to the tire shop? I'll give him a tire shine. And I told the guy, hey, can you just drop it off there? He's like, yeah, and because I wanted to move on these ASAP because I was going to find the genuine 370Z Recaros, and they fit into the Z.
I'm about to punch you in the dick, Victor. I'm this close to punching you in the dick.
And then the airbags, because they're blown, I'd remove them. I actually harvested my original seats airbag, and they fit right in. Bolts right up. Same bolts.
But then how did you cover the...
So
you
I
ever
have
cover
to
them?
kind of heated up and kind of, if you look closely, you'll see it's been kind of repaired. It's not like brand new where it's like sealed.
Yeah.
You can just see in this photo, you can kind of see the MacGyvering of like sealing on there.
Uh-huh.
So it's not 100%, but you don't really see it with the seatbelt buckle in the way. So
So it's not the inner side.
it's the outer shell. It's the outer shell that's
The
that's
outer
blew up.
shell. Where that's what because like if I'm passenger,
Yes.
it's right here.
Yeah, but my seatbelt usually will sit there anyway. So
so the seatbelt's distraction.
it just distract. Yes. So, but yeah, it's they're so good.
I'll punch you in the dick, bro.
I want to find another set. I haven't been able to find another set.
I found another set. It's just not too. It's just not whatever you paid for. I'm all punch you in the dick, bro.
Oh man, everybody's like, yo, if you find a set, let me know. I'm like, I haven't been able to find another set.
I'll
So
punch you in the dick, bro.
one day, 370Z Nismo, there's a dime a dozen of them now. They're not
Yeah.
as limited, so there should be a bunch of part outs at some point.
Yeah.
There are some guys that sell them for like $3-4 grand, which that's not worth it.
It actually is. And I will tell you why. I am also like you, okay? I am a sifat guy as well. So, I can't wait till I get Gideon on this. But anyways, why I want those seats is because they cost less than half. Less than half. Less than half of me picking up the STI version equivalent of this.
Okay, but here's the thing. For the 370Z ones, they're not full Recaro Sportsters. The bottom butt portion is actually a modified 370Z seat. If you notice the bottom there, it's not the full my mom owns a Juke RS. She has the legit Recaro Sportster CSs.
But they don't have the quick release for the top to fold down.
These don't have it as well.
They don't?
No, I have a knob. I literally have a little rotary Recaro rotary knob that I have to turn. These don't flip back. It's a two-seater car. The 370Z is a two-seater car. Why would he need a flip back? I'm flipping back where?
Bam! I feel like an idiot!
On the OEM 350Z, yeah, there's a flip back because there's a glove box in the back. But these, they don't.
Bam! I feel like an idiot!
So now you have no interest in it.
No. Well, yes, but no. Okay, so I'll tell you my little story. Off tangent again. This is why I love doing this stuff, because I can do this and people can laugh at me. There were a pair of Juke RSs, Nismo RS seats. It got retrofitted into, of all cars,
What was it?
2000, so from 1999 to like 2005, Mercedes CLK 350, 320, 300, whatever you call it.
That's crazy.
It got retrofitted into that. This, oh man, I'm gonna sound so Russian. I'm gonna sound so racist for this. But anyhow, this Slavic ass motherfucker. I had to swear, man. You gotta cuss that out. I don't care. I'm really mad about this. He was asking like 2,200 or some number for the pair. I met up with him. I took a look at the seat.
Yeah.
There was a little the plastic right on the cover, the railings.
Yes.
That plastic.
Yeah.
There's a crack in it.
I
can live with it.
You don't need it.
You can replace those.
Yes.
I can live with that. I also noticed that it doesn't have the fold down because I know the Nismo ones because the colors are inverted, so it's more black than less
It's black
red.
inside, red outside. Yes.
So I'm like, okay, whatever. Let me pick these up. However, it was on Family Day. No, wait. It was on a holiday. Just know that. It was a random ass holiday in the middle of nowhere. So I was like, okay. I said, can we do EMT? He said, no, cash only.
Oh.
Well, shit. I also forgot it was.
You're brave to EMT like randomly.
Well, I was gonna pick it up.
Oh.
I saw the seats in it. I went to the guy physically to see the seats. So I was gonna EMT on the spot.
Yeah, and you wanted cash.
But he wanted cash. Okay. I go to the bank and it's like, oh, close for the holidays. I'm like, shit.
Oh.
I called Matt.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, yo, I can't get money out from the ATM. I don't have that kind of
the limit.
withdrawal. Yeah, my withdrawal limit per day is $500. Luckily I had like $1,200 on me.
Yeah.
So I needed him to pull out another $1,000 because he apparently can, and then I will EMT him the money. So I'll take his cash and go. So, are you familiar with the Markham Scarborough area?
Not well, but enough.
I was like young and north of Steel. I'm on Young Street, north of Steel.
Yeah.
So you know about Proximate.
Yes.
I drove my ass from there to meet Matt at Cars and Boba Borough. A little closer.
Oh yeah, you're a little far from there.
Yeah, I'm about 2 minutes from Borough.
Yeah.
2 minutes. I went to him to drive out another 2 blocks down to Markham Road to get to a bank so he could pull out the money. Dropped him back off. Drove back to where I was gonna meet the guy, right?
Yeah.
And I went to he was an apartment building, whatever. So I messaged, hey, I'm on the way back now because I finally got the money.
Yeah.
Right? It was a struggle. And I'm gonna come pick up the seats. He goes, it's sold.
Oh.
Bro, I was livid at this point. I'm like, bro, I could have had the Nismo seats already.
Yep.
I could have reupholstered. That was the plan. Reupholster them and make them into STI seats with the BRZ. And this
guess what?
sucker.
Some guy probably flipped it for $3,000.
Probably, or maybe used it on his own car. I don't know. Maybe because some people do that.
That's why I rushed. I was panicking. I was like, somebody's gonna grab these for this price.
I was so mad. I was punching air the whole entire day. I even went like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done. I was like,
You're done for the day.
Dude, it was like 3 in the afternoon. I went home and cried. I went home and slept. I can't do this anymore. I'm so livid right now.
That's the worst.
So, but then I remember when I was going through it. So why I brought the story, 1, to vent, 2, to mention the release. Because I thought there was a release on this. Because on the Juke one doesn't, obviously.
No, these don't have a release as I know. It's literally just like maybe the passenger side, but you flip literally the thing that you recline to get it.
Yeah. No, but there isn't because it's still to adjust your the back, it's the triangle thing. It's a turn. You don't get the release.
Oh yeah, no, because I have to literally sit there and turn it.
And then until you get to the right height, and then I think you could adjust the base a little, but it wasn't much.
It was enough. That's why these were 370Z. The Juke ones you can't. They're literally like fixed back.
Yeah, and then that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all you got. So I was like, oh my god. And then so I'm like thinking to myself, oh, maybe because it's a Juke RS seats, maybe that's why they don't have the quick release. I don't even bother anymore. I'm like, they're cheaper too because because it's Juke.
Yes.
I'm like, I'm not even gonna bother anymore. And then there's a few that popped up for like around 3. I'm like, I contemplate on it. I'm like, yeah, it's okay, but I should get the 370Z ones because I assume
it
that it is a coupe. It has the quick release.
But there's no back seats.
But I forgot about that too.
What are you quick releasing to?
What if I need to access the bar?
On the 350, the glove box is actually in the back.
So what if I need to access the glove box?
So yeah, you literally sit there and just move the seat forward.
Oh, I feel like a dumbass right now. I feel like a complete idiot.
Yeah, the 350 when I took it out, I was like, oh, I lost because on the 350, the passenger seat, there's a little lever on the back that you can like make it go forward.
Oh.
But on the you can, so I lost that one. So yeah.
Honestly, no, the other. Oh my god, why? And I just realized, why did I even care about that? I was gonna remove the back seat on the BRZ. I was gonna.
Oh, so yeah, you don't need the.
I was gonna remove it, back seat completely, put either a carbon fiber cover over it or like some sort of thing to close off the entire thing, and run a half cage. So that was my ultimate angle.
Yeah, so it didn't matter anyway. So you're still after these seats.
I'm dumb.
And these seats are better because you can adjust the tilt on the seat, on your butt part.
So 370 gets to adjust the
yes, because it uses the 370Z rail.
Ooh, that may be a problem. I still need to run my STI. But I still need to
Somebody has, so people have grinded off the rails to get the whole seat off to then plant it onto a new seat. Just the Juke one is easier because it's literally almost off the shelf item.
Yeah, okay.
It's an actual Sportster RS.
I might just have to do that. I might just have to do the Juke.
Yep, I've been wanting to take one off my mom's car. My mom won't let me. So
okay, is your mom going to get rid of her car anytime soon? Okay, if one day...
It'll be me. I'm gonna put that in the Mini.
No, you!
How to piss you off even more.
Oh!
We'll go for round 2.
Bro, I actually, the extent of how much I wanted to get these seats. I had this crazy idea. There was a Juke RS for sale, $7,000, $9,000.
You're gonna buy it just to buy the seats?
I was gonna buy it. Pull the seats out, find a Juke pair of seats for a couple $100, put it back in the car, sell the car back for like whatever $6,000, and call it a day. And there's no loss at that point.
Somebody's actually done it. I've actually seen some Juke RSs without their seats, so I've seen it.
So there's the Juke Nismo and then Juke Nismo RS.
Yes, the RS is what you need.
So maybe it was just a Nismo.
No, it was an RS because on our gauge cluster, on the Nismo one, it just says Nismo. On the RS, on the Speedo side, it says RS.
Oh, that's cool. I'm gonna be that guy.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be that guy.
So yeah, my mom, she's not removing those seats anytime soon.
Okay.
So the Z, so you got those. I even got to the point on one of the photos on my page, even the armrest on the door panels.
Yeah.
The Nismo one comes with red stitching.
That's cool.
It's the smallest little detail because I'm like, oh, the Nismo seat's now red stitching. I need to match that. So on the genuine Nismo ones, I see I got the RS gauge
Oh
cluster.
my god.
So it's red on the Nismo ones, and then it just says RS on the right.
That's so
it's
cool,
so
though.
tiny and it's in the dark, so you can barely see it.
Unless you light it up.
Yeah.
And it lights up?
No, it doesn't light up. It reflects. It just reflects.
So the STI. The STI also just reflects.
Yes. So yeah, that was just a small little
I'm so
tidbit.
mad right now. I'm so mad right now,
So-
Victor. I want to punch you in the dick so hard.
My Nismo protect me.
This will go protected.
So yeah, so the Z, yeah, so obviously I got the door panels on the side. The steering wheel I got from a Japanese company that makes like a perforated leather,
Oh, that's
and it's
nice.
got carbon like front and bottom.
Okay.
And so
It's
yeah,
the whole steering wheel.
yeah, the whole steering, and it's red stitching, so it matches the seats, matches that. It literally matches the everything in total now. Probably lower at the bottom. You probably will see like my photos of the car because I did post about it, all the Nismo little trinkets and stuff. And then the Speedo was probably the last thing that I got.
Oh, you got a Nismo Speedo for it as well.
Yes. So I said I cut so the only
Wait,
difference.
wait. You
So
were
the
talking
only difference on the Nismo Speedo is the tack. The tack is now silver face and it has Nismo on it and it lights up.
The Nismo lights up.
It lights up. So I didn't want to use the miles per hour. I hate the miles per hour on the outside and then kilometers on the inside. And then I couldn't find a Japan. So Japan does make a Nismo Speedo as well, but it's blackface with the Nismo, but you can never find those.
Oh, the rare.
So I didn't want to lose my Canadian speedometer. So I literally cut out that tack portion and replaced my original tack. Same identical, but then I had to match, as I said before, I had to match the RPMs. Yeah, because there's no set points. So
that sounds
so
fun.
yeah, so that's the pretty much interior. Yeah, that's the interior of the car at this point.
Again, just little subtle details and it made it into your
Yep.
car.
And then obviously I took it to Tail of the Dragon 2 years ago, and that was probably the funnest, most fun thing. Just the S-tune suspension, the wheels, the tires, brakes. Like my friend Alvin, it was in front actually. He had a M2 comp.
Yeah.
And I was able to just kind of, I can't, obviously he out accelerates me because in M2 comp, I'm just in a little Z. But I'm able to brake, I'm able to just lean right into the corners. This car handles like no tomorrow. I had it aligned, new tires, fresh tires and everything. I was just all over him.
From that sound, Bem, it sounds like it is
It's when you get a Z right. Obviously, you can still feel the weight of it, but in these back roads, it grips. It just grips and grips. You can just as long as you're on power and into the long bends, it just goes. You can probably hear there's a sound
it's
clip.
a great car, honestly.
It is. Most people obviously ruin them now, but like this is kind of what I wanted. And this is kind of a sound clip video of it. So
I can
that's
do
Nismo exhaust, Burke high flow cats.
Oh, you actually got Burke's parts.
Yeah. Well, the cats on an HR are worth so much money that you can literally get Burke's and do the install and still have a little money left over. There's worth so much money because it's 2 cats built into it. But for some reason, they were like offering $800
at the time, right?
at the time for it.
You don't get those
insane.
numbers.
They probably lowered down a bit.
A lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot now. Okay, I don't know what the.
So at one point when I did my headers,
Yeah.
I was able to sell my stock headers and just basically just pay labor to install.
Wow.
That's all I had to pay for.
Yeah.
And it's a BRZ header, it's nothing. And then now, you might be lucky if someone pays you $200 for it.
Jeez. Okay, so they did drop a lot.
It dropped a lot.
Yeah, like they were like.
About 50% at this point for my header at least. I don't know what because you're.
Because that double.
Yeah.
So like they had page, and I just kept offering, just kept asking, and then I would just compare the cost, and once I got the highest one, off my cats went. So, but yeah, so that at this point now, the Z's pretty much like I want LMGT4s. That's the only thing I want on those.
But the Nismo wheels look so nice on it.
A lot of my friends tell me that, and I'm like, no, but I want the LMGT. Just that
Okay,
much.
here's the thing. You have a GTR with the LM mags.
Yes.
You should. I think for your 350Z, keep it true to the S-tune, like the Nismo. I think
Yeah.
you just
And the tire siding sucks on it. It's 18 front, 19 rear.
Oh, it's a dual stagger.
Yeah, it's like nine in the front and 10 in the rear.
But it's 18, 9. It's a double stagger.
Yes, I hate it.
Okay, now you know what? I take
I
it all back.
can't rotate this shit.
Well, don't forget about rotating. I just don't like double stagger. To be
No,
honest.
I don't. But Z's did that for a little bit.
Well, I guess for dynamics, all right?
Yeah.
Because then it's like that.
Like the front, I like 18s. Like I want to find 18 LMGTs. 19s are a bit too big.
No, 19's too big for sure.
So, but then like try to find 18-inch that's not like R34 GTR spec, which is too aggressive for Zs.
Is it? I thought they'll fit. Because
So the 18 by 10.5 plus 15, they don't fit in the rear. That's way too aggressive. I need to have camber.
yeah. So just I mean, it's not a
But
lot.
I have to find like essentially like the S chassis LMGTs. So they're like 8.5s. 8.5s? Yeah, I think 8.5s plus 30s.
Oh,
or
I
plus
don't know if
20.
you'll like that though.
Well, I need spacers.
And you'll be a very small tire.
Yeah,
they're
8.5. I
nines,
think
yeah.
8.5 or 9s. Yeah, I'll be running. Well, right now my setup right now is 245 40 fronts and 275 rears.
You'll probably max out a 245 squared.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm.
Like that's the ultimate.
And then
like-
I don't want to split. I don't want to buy different sets. And also like the I don't like the ones where it's like flat face LMGT fronts and concave in the rear. I want concave all around. Which again, they're like hen's teeth. And they're like 5-6 grand.
I know.
So Canadian.
I know.
So for now, I'm gonna leave it. I think-
Yeah, you know what? The way you mod your car, I will never disagree with. So whatever works for you, honestly.
Yeah. But
Oh,
and I find actually all the stuff. The Z usually is my guinea pig. Anything I have to take it to for a shop, I'll usually do it with the Z first. If it's good, the GTR then follows.
makes sense.
Yeah, the Z's for paint, same thing. Body shop, same thing.
I mean, why not? That's for lack of a better word, that's the cheaper car.
yes.
If you screw that one up, it's
Yeah.
kind of like, oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah. So like the livery, Kodori did the liveries for me. So the Z went first, did it first. I was okay with it, and then the GTR went after.
That's so nice.
And that's essentially my dream vision, but just in black. I've come to terms with it now, this one, but for the good couple of years, I was like, it's not black, it's not.
It's not silver. Why is it not silver? Why is it not Nismo silver?
Yeah, it essentially was just so like old YouTube vid. Well, actually, you can probably still find it, like a GTR Z-Tune Proto, and those when Tsuchiya was
Yeah.
driving the Z-Tunes,
Yeah.
the silver one on the
Yeah.
Tsukuba. Oh, it was just that was like just right
That's the
there.
ultimate. That's
That's
the
the
ultimate
ultimate.
GTR.
Yep, and it's just that color. It's just a lot of people don't like the silver, but also the silver just shows off all the body lines, especially the rear like haunches.
I said this before. I'm obnoxious. I'm gonna be honest with you. I just hate because I like hating. I said that the R34 GTR is an ugly car. I said that at one point in my
Oh
life.
jeez.
I was so tired of everyone going like, "Oh my god, my dream car, everything."
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's so good looking, whatever. I'm like, I mean, it's good looking, but it's not like, in my opinion, I think there's a lot better looking cars than a GTR. Looking, I'm not talking about
Yeah.
driving, all that stuff. I don't know. I've never driven one, but I've seen the
Oh
GTRs.
yeah.
So I can use that as my reference, right? And at this point, I'm just kind of being a little defiant. But once I start seeing like the silver GTRs, lighter color GTRs,
Yeah.
Bayside Blue, honestly, I'm so sick of them. But
I'm also yeah.
Yeah.
Blue was one. No, it'll be. I was gonna try to see if we can find that. Just if you type best motoring. Oh wait,
I think
that,
that's the one.
that is the
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
yeah, silver is the one to get. White is the one to get. And then
Oh, actually no, it's actually not this one. If you do best motoring 34 Z-Tune.
because it was the Z2 from Nismo factory, right? From
It was no, it
Moro.
wasn't. It was before the Z-Tune. So this was like pre 2005. So Z-Tune was actually made in 2005.
Yeah.
It was like their prototype. Their like
Oh.
Z1 prototype. So it had TEs actually for some reason. TE mags, not even TE37, TE mags.
Nice.
No, not is it that one? It was on the Tsukuba track.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a second. Now I'm curious to know. Best
No,
motoring.
not that one. If you just type, because I had the link, I should have sent that prior. It was just literally Tsuchiya driving the different 34 GTRs. Yeah, and he was comparing it, and it's just that one corner on the back, just before the back straight, just as he downshifts
Yeah.
it, just as he's kind of like shifting a bit, you just see fire come out the exhaust. And you're just like, oh, this is amazing.
Oh, I've seen that video. I remember that video.
Yeah, you know which one. And then he
Yeah.
tests the white one later on down the road. Scroll down. Keep going. Nope. Keep going. I'll usually see it right off the bat because I always see it from time to time. I'm just like, dream. Dream car.
I want a Mines R34, man.
Mines back in the day, they were crazy how they developed their car and how they made it.
Well, now you got Built by Legend, which is essentially Mines Plus at this point.
No, it starts to say Proto, just Z-Tune. I have to show this video because it's just so cool.
We're not gonna end it. We can't end it without it.
Yeah, if you keep scrolling down, I'll let you know if I see it right off the bat. Nope, not that one. Keep going. No, we're never gonna find it.
Oh no.
We're never gonna find it.
Oh no.
Oh, that one right there. There, DK Tsuchiya.
You're looking at it, yeah.
Yeah, so you scroll through like just a little bit past to where he's actually driving.
Yeah,
it.
just to the driving video, yeah.
Yeah, right here, around here. Yep. This is just that. This was my poster right there. Like this was my dream. Before I even knew what I said V6 engine was.
Oh, it rotates so well too.
Yeah. And so they made a different one, but yeah, the silver one was literally what I always wanted, and that's the model car for it.
Oh, R2.
Yes.
Mm.
So yeah, so that's literally, and that's an S2 bumper. That's why I didn't mind, having the S2 bumper. I actually kind of liked it. It had that. I love the Z2 bumper, but just for my goal, yeah.
Yeah, but honestly, I keep saying it was an ugly car because I'm like everybody and their mom wants one, but then I'm like, but then the more I look at the silver one, I was like the silver and white. I'm like,
it's very classic.
It doesn't have to be obnoxious. Oh, Millennium Jade. That was also one of my top choice of colors. It's those three colors that make me go, it's a good looking car. I take back all my words. I eat it all back, and I'm just gonna say it's overhyped, but I think it deserves the hype.
Yeah, unfortunately, the hype is there from Gran Turismo. I was in the Gran Turismo crowd. The Fast and Furious crowd. I'm not in that one, but
I'm part of the Gran Turismo crowd actually.
Gran Turismo 3, Gran Turismo 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, and then 7. Well, Sport as well.
No, I stopped at 4. After 4 was just too peak. It was just peak, man.
4 was peak though.
So
4 was actually peak.
4, like I showed my mom, I was like, I wanted, the red R tune that they had in Gran Turismo 4. And that was the Nismo car. I was like, I want this as a model car, and she was able to find that in Taiwan back in 2004. And I kept that ever since. It's my most prized possession. One.
Oh, Mom was supporting the dream.
Mom was like, "Yeah, you're gonna have GTR, but you're earning that one.
Yeah,
that's all I can afford."
This is the GTR I can get.
Yeah. Back then, I was like, "Yeah, I own a GTR." That was right there, and
the fact that you bought it before the glow up, like before the hype up.
If I waited, and it'll come down in price. It'll come down in price. If it went up to over $100,000. I can't buy it. I'm
at $100,000. It's hard to stomach.
I don't have any daddy's money. My parents are more like, you want something, a G37, the 3DZ. Those are all self-funded.
I'm just happy that I'm not that into it. I'm like, I'll cry. I will just cry.
Well, I already had like backup cars actually.
Oh,
if the GTR wasn't gonna be a thing, I had backup cars. I had the RX-7 Spirit R Type A.
You're also nuts, but okay, Raymond.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. So I wanted that. I always loved an RX-7. I don't know if I'll fit in it really properly, but I always loved that.
I actually don't fit.
I don't think the seats even fit me. The Type A gets the Recaro like carbon Kevlar back seats. I don't think it fit.
I couldn't fit in a Sparkle like fixed bucket. I couldn't fit in it.
Oh, because back then they were in the same price range as the GTR Spirit R Type A's. And the next one would have been the Mugen RR.
Mugen RR.
It was so far left field, but I love that generation of Civics.
Oh, but dude, that not possible. Dude, the Mugen RR the Mugen RR price was higher than the GTR at one point.
I didn't know back then. So back 2018, they were just a little bit higher, but still within attainable for what I needed. But it's just such
yeah.
FD2. I didn't want to consider FD2. I wanted this. I wanted like just this full kit.
It is an FD2. You
is.
You didn't want the R North American spec.
I want that 2.2. So
wait, RR is 2.2?
I think they bored and stroked the engine.
I know the valve train was different because they did titanium springs so that it could spin to 9,600 RPM, I believe it was.
But I'm pretty sure they stroked it as well. Pretty sure they bored it up to 2.2, unless I'm wrong.
We could look into it.
Yeah,
whatever.
But yeah, so those are the 3 cars, or the 2 other backup cars that essentially, if I didn't get a GTR, but obviously I was gonna try the GTR. Needed to be, was it 2 liter or is it 2?
It's 2 liter.
Oh, okay.
Because I remember there was the head. They did head work. It was crazy when I ran into details. So they didn't really like bore or polish or anything. They did, but the biggest thing that made the RR that much better was the valve train. The entire valve train was reworked, so there was better airflow and more airflow.
Yes.
To be able to rev to that high RPM and still maintain power, because there was power throughout the entire rev band.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and think about that. Like, that's basically what we try to do all the time. Like, K20, A2, and then slap its head on, and then
Or
all
do the
this stuff.
Frankenstein build.
But you can't get to this caliber, and that's it has a carbon intake too. That's also probably what's helping it, right?
It's just so good.
But remember, I still laugh at this. Remember when this was first announced, and it was like, 300 production is going to be a 50,000 USD Civic.
Yep.
And it was like, ew, why would I do that?
People lost their mind.
They're like, why?
I'll buy an EK for that price and build it up.
I'll just go buy I'll just buy a base FD2 and then I'll build it up.
Yeah.
It was an international hate. That's the thing. It wasn't like, but then obviously everybody bought it because...
But people didn't understand the engineering that took to get to that level.
Because it was 50,000 USD, like, of what, 2012?
Yes, around that
Yeah,
time.
like that's 100K now. More than realistically, right? So it's like...
But yeah, the front bumper, it's all carbon fiber. Like
That's something I didn't even realize.
Oh yeah,
It's all carbon fiber.
the photo that shows like literally what parts of it are carbon fiber.
The seats are carbon Recaro buckets as well that are carbon backed. The car goes on.
The radio deleted, and then I don't know if the AC deleted it.
I think you can keep AC.
Okay.
They could. It's like you can keep it or take it out. Radio's deleted, and then I think the wing was functional.
Yes, you can adjust it.
Yeah, the wing was functional.
90s and 2000s, like when you had just adjustable wings, were so good.
Yeah.
Like on my GTR, you can adjust the little end piece.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Oh my god, dude, it's such a cool ass car, bro.
I still want to build these, but like it's just trying to find. Like,
You trying to be Uncle Alec? Uncle Mugen?
Like it's just to find like essentially the cheapest way to do it is to get the CSX because the back end is.
Yeah, you already saved that.
Yeah, but then the
carbon
front and
back.
everything else, it's just like there's so much other cars that. Oh, sorry, there's another one, a Subaru actually, really left field, the S204. It's the Hawkeye.
Hawkeye one.
But the S204.
Yes,
They were also actually they're still within this price. They haven't even appreciated.
They don't. The S line doesn't appreciate.
No.
The S202 right now is so affordable still. It's more, but it's
I think
still
the
affordable.
204 right now is like I saw some for like 50 to 60 grand.
Yeah.
So even the 380 RS, it's the most slept on car right now.
Was 380 RS a Nismo special? Or was
Yes. So Nismo made 300 cars only for Japan, obviously. And what they were was essentially they took the engine from their race car, so that's 3.8 liter, took all the stuff that made it undrivable on the street, but kept that block and essentially the pistons, the rods and everything, and it made about 350 horsepower.
Because I only know of the 380 RS through the Gran Turismo, and it was through the Amuse car.
The Muse Superleggera, yes.
So that was the 380 RS
Base.
based, and then the Amuse parts on top of it.
Correct. Yeah, so it's really like everything else around it is literally a normal Nismo 350Z. It's the engine that made it really special. But obviously, there's a plaque to flex that you're one of 300
of ever.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's literally what they did. So they took literally obviously they couldn't put like the intake plenum. They couldn't use the headers. So they kind of put all the bolt-on 35 HR stuff back on. Even the heads were like kind of detuned.
Yeah.
But they still gave you 350 horsepower out of a 3.8.
Yeah, exactly. Realistically, it's just a software upgrade away.
Yeah.
It's a tune away. It's a rewrite.
Like if you take the badge off.
Is it? Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
cams, rods.
Forged internals. HR's not forged internals, right?
No.
So HR's not.
No, I'm not sure the technicals of the HRs.
Okay.
Compared to even the VHR.
VHR is different from HR?
The VHR is the 3.7. It's the 3.7.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So the V is the variable valve event lift. It's that same BMW infinite adjusting.
Vanos.
Yes.
Double Vanos.
So it's the same thing. It's infinitely adjust. Actually, to the point where the VHR, like when you're accelerating, the throttle body is actually fully open. They fully open, and then the valve timing actually adjusts how much air gets in.
Oh, okay.
Nissan they developed this so much. And then they even showed like technical demos of like how the car works with the VHR. So
and yet here we are now. Poor Nissan.
Yep. Well, the new CEO now.
Dude, I had to move a 2024 Nissan Versa.
Oh boy.
I was absolutely disgusted by the car. They try to make it cool. I'll tell you how.
Did you try the CVT? How they try to mimic it like gears when you accelerate? It like
Honda does that. So
really?
Honda did that for the
I can
Fit.
never understand that.
But wait, I'll tell you how disgusted I am with the car.
What?
So they try to make it fun. So it's a base rental car.
Yeah.
You know where the infotainment is? So that little radio?
Yes.
So that section, for some reason, they wrapped it in blue vinyl. It actually looks pretty cool. It was a nice blue. It wasn't
Okay.
gaudy. It was nice.
Yeah.
Mind you, it's still black interior and
Yeah.
gray headliner
Gray
and stuff,
headline,
right?
yeah.
So that's the only piece that's blue. They got fake carbon fiber
Oh yeah, they do.
everywhere. I'm like, bro, don't. Just give me the piano black
it's
stuff.
the textured but because journalists complain about the piano black.
I know, but I rather that than fake carbon fiber that look like stickers.
Yes. Yeah, it's on their Sentras too. And on their Ultima SRs as well. I've noticed that. I was like,
oh, please. Don't make your crappy car crappier. Don't make your cheap car look even more cheaper.
yep.
Stop.
That's paddles on the CVTs as well.
I'm okay with that. No, I'm okay with that. Like, if you're trying to make a CVT sporty, I'm not against it. I won't buy it. I don't like mad cars. I won't ever get a car like that. But the point is, I'm not against it because at least you're trying to. There's a purpose for it more than just being a visual because you can actually utilize it. So with the paddles, from my experiences, CVT paddles.
Yeah.
So what it does is it actually would hold revs. So that's the whole point of
Until
it.
you get to red line, it'll just auto shift for you.
So you can, yeah, but realistically, the CVT can only be so, thing. Right? But the fact is, you can actually redline it and then pretend to shift. I'm not mad at that completely. Because at least I still get to have that feel of like I'm controlling it. Because I'm not just for and then just you know what I mean? I'm not just for until I get to speed. It's it feels like a shift. So I'm okay with it. Do I want it? No, I'd rather shift my own gears, but
we really grind your gears, fake carbon.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's not just Nissan. I've seen some other cars. I think Mazda does it on their 3s as well. They have fake carbon.
No, it's the Mazda 3 is actually a nice car, dude.
Is it? I thought I saw.
I said multiple of them, like a plethora of like the new and current Mazda 3.
Yeah.
And I feel like I would compare a Mazda 3 to a BMW 3 Series. Like I would, okay, take it as you will in a grain of salt. And I might be over exaggerating, but just hear me out. If you sit in it and you take away all the badgings and the branding, and you ask me, what car is this? I might be like, entry level German? You know, it has, in my opinion, it has a better interior than a GTR, and that's saying a lot. that's like someone's gonna come and choke me out for saying that. But I genuinely think so. The leather is soft. Everything is all the touch points are very nice and elegant. Digital dash, digital dash was. I'm not a big fan of digital dash.
No.
But I like it enough where it's like it has like the BMW style where they have the arch and then the light, and then they have the thing. I'm okay with that. I can live with that, right? It has the whole it mimics that. The car actually drives pretty well, to be honest with you. Like, a
lot of people have it. It's pretty popular, and it looks upscale.
Exactly, that's the thing. I can't say that about a Civic. I can't say that about a Corolla.
It's not bad.
It's not, but it's not on the same caliber in terms of like the luxury stuff. Like personal preference. Like I talk to enough people, go, I don't need all that. I get it, but if I were to compare aspects, like different aspects of cars and what makes them great. And I'm using that one tagline right now, like the luxury part, right? The Mazda 3 is doing it pretty well. And then on top of that, it doesn't drive bad. It actually drives really great. The turbo is actually a pretty peppy car.
Oh yeah.
It's good. It's good, right? So can't shit on the Mazda 3. But the Nissans though, like why did you do that?
And that's where they are. That's why they are where they are. But it's okay. Nismo's making them a lot of money though.
At least Nismo is keeping them afloat.
Nismo is literally churning like cash cow with all the restoration for GTRs.
I heard it's like what, $500,000 to restore like the.
It depends on car condition, but usually it's about $200, $100,000. You gotta wait like 4 or 5 years.
Because the 400R was $500,000 to repair.
No. So they have a CRS program. So essentially they'll strip your car completely bare, redo the chassis. Not redo it to Garage Yoshida, but just like kind of like repaint everything.
Because it was starting at $100K USD.
It never started. It for us was like $200,000.
Yeah.
Like the engine's already like 60 grand.
Yeah, because I remember they were talking about, because they're like, oh, resto project. If you have a GTR owner
Yeah.
thing, and it's like the bare minimum they'll charge is this, and then from there it's like, how extensive are we going?
Yes.
And then I believe someone was doing document, because they sent their 400R out, 1.7 million Hong Kong dollars or whatever that.
Oh yeah,
equates to.
that's probably Contempo.
Yeah.
So yeah, 400 is the different, because again, that's there's like a lot of bespoke parts from Nismo, but like just like your regular Joe 34
Yeah.
GTR, it's about that price.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they'll completely kit out your engine, stroke it to 2.8.
Oh, they'll do that?
Yeah,
So
and then they put
factory
Nismo.
stroker.
Yeah, yeah, and then it even has a factory warranty from Nismo.
Yes,
For a
that I
year.
know. That
Yeah.
I know.
So,
I didn't know they
but
stroke it.
this is like there's so much in queue right now. Like Nismo's just like
They're backed up.
yeah. But they've also stopped like making like hoods, bumpers, the Z-Tune bumpers and stuff for now.
Yeah.
Because again, I think they just can't keep up with orders.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Garage Yoshida, though, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I love it.
It's a great idea.
It's the whole chassis, like we're putting on a frame machine and like actually like checking for like wrecks and stuff. That's crazy.
I know.
I think that's a step above what Nismo does in terms of chassis stuff.
Mm.
But obviously Yoshida doesn't really do like engine. That's why like Built by Legend you have Mines that
Yeah.
does the engine. So I love that they have like these cars, because we need more of this stuff. We gotta keep
Yeah.
these cars going, and Nissan's still making parts for these cars. So yeah.
One day, when you, let's say, hypothetically, your retirement age. So you hit retirement age. So your pension plan is paying out. Your retirement funds are paying out. Everything's paying out now. You still have your GTR. So this is talk about what, 30, 40 years into the future at this point.
probably yeah.
And let's say hypothetically, Yoshida is still doing the restoration, and Nismo is still around and doing the same restoration. Who would you pick for you to bring your car to get the restoration done by?
At the end of the day, I think for me, car's a Nismo car.
So you would go back to the
Nismo,
factory.
Yes.
Factory.
If I had money to ship the car back to Japan and do a full
Yeah.
like teardown restoration, I would.
Mhm.
If I can take the car back to Japan, I would.
I mean, you could.
I'm not balling like Charles Wong.
CW
Collect. I don't have money like him, man. His car's in Japan is in Japan right now with BC plates.
You know how much that costs to ship it back?
Oh well, it's the customs and I think charges and stuff that cost a
There's
lot
a
of money.
customs on it still.
Well, like there's I don't know what the thing I believe I heard it was like $30,000 or something to ship it back. Like because you have to like it's a temporary license or registration to allow your car to drive there with BC plates. You're gonna have to have registration with the government to say, hey, my car's gonna be there for a year. I think it's a time limit of like a year.
Oh, okay.
I think like for example, YouTuber Shmi, he does that. He ships his car to like the US
Yes.
and drives on it with UK plates.
Yes.
So it's not cheap.
Oh.
And I don't think Charles is he container shipped it. So he's not row-rowing that car. And I don't think he has airship, but I don't think he airshipped that one.
So shimmy airships, you're saying?
Shmi airships his cars.
Oh.
But for his older, like cheaper cars, like his Mustang, he container shipped it. But it's like SLS, his AMG GT, yeah, those are
It's on cargo way.
Those are on airplanes. But like, yeah, so one day that's a pipe dream. That's so much money, but that's one day I want to bring it back and also bring it back to the owner.
Just let him see it.
Yeah, just see what type of ricer things I've done to the car.
It's the same thing he did. It's literally.
I'll put some Go Fast stickers on it.
Yeah, I did it. Oh, actually, this might be the last question before we end the day.
Yeah.
You put a Haltech system into it. Okay, you removed the Mines ECU out of
Yes.
it. What was the purpose of this?
So I took the Mines ECU actually back to Japan because I didn't know what this tune was and the owner didn't tell me what it was.
Okay.
So I actually took the ECU out and literally brought it back with me back to Japan. Went to Mines, hey, can you check what this ECU was?
Uh-huh.
And so he said, yeah. So the tune was a very simple tune. All it was speed limiter removed, so 180 kilometers, high octane gas, and I think they like added more boost, like they increased the boost. That was it. But like for me, like we have our Canadian gas. Our gas is literally made of like dirt and twigs, not compared to Japanese much better gas.
Is actually better? I don't know.
Well, they're like it was tuned for 100.
Oh, okay.
So I don't have that here, and the closest thing I have is like
94.
94, which isn't even true 94 anyway. So I needed to tune it, and also with the Haltech, I can do wideband.
Oh,
So I have a wideband underneath it, and so at least to protect the car.
So you can read all the figures.
Yeah.
But the MFD doesn't show all your
No,
figures?
that's so the MFD operates on a separate to the ECU.
Oh.
Yeah, it takes data logs, but it doesn't do anything with that. It's like another like connection for it. Like another data, like another just like it just pulls data and reads. The ECU actually pulls another set of and then reads and does tuning. But like just kind of a side tangent actually. All the parts that on the GTR, and then now I've got this beater Mini, so much cheaper. Everything is so cheap on the Mini. Everything is like
Hold on.
it's so cheap.
I hate you so
like,
much right now.
Compared to like I've been loving putting parts on the Mini because it costs. I can buy like 10 parts for the Mini for the one part for the GTR.
I want to punch you so bad right now. I want to punch
What another one? And I get two fists now.
It's too one you sack, bro. One you sack. Bro, nobody in their mom has said ever a Mini is cheap to rebuild. I swear to God, they all go, like it's a headache and a nightmare, and it's just not worth it. You could have done something else.
Dude. This car has been the most fun thing in the winter.
I loved when I drove the one I drove. It was a supercharged one, by the way.
Yes.
As well. And I loved it. It's actually like it lives up to the name go-kart on like go-kart in a like a big go-kart. It lives up to that name. I just can't justify the fact that like as soon as you start modifying the suspension, even if you just put lowering springs on it, the top mount decides to quit because it's so stiff. Like the car is just so stiff.
I've already done 2 bushings on the top mounts because it blows through them.
It's like, and then on top of that, the failure points. You're one bad day away from having catastrophic engine failure. T, you know what? No, I'm not done yet. I gotta bring this up because if you're gonna watch the last episode, T mentioned this. You made T buy a Mini Cooper as well.
I took him around in a Mini, and he was hooked on the Mini. I literally went.
But he bought the turbo one.
Nope, not even turbo. He bought a Mini Cooper.
It was just a Cooper.
He bought the cheapest Mini that we could find that was a shtick. So he bought the next generation, which they're known for. Yes. So he bought the ones that we know that there's timing chain issue, like guides failure. Like they've got issues with them.
Okay.
So obviously it was $3,000 though. It was cheap as shit. Like you can't. It was literally like a parts car almost at this point.
Okay.
We literally went down almost downtown. It was like close to Etobicoke. We went to go see it. We test drove it. The engine was actually purring perfectly fine. Had mileage. It was not that bad mileage, but it drove fine. So we drove fine. Okay, we drove fine. We literally Italian jobbed it back home. Like he hasn't done an oil change. He just put gas in it, and we literally were flooring it. I even told him at one point because he was ahead of me when he was flooring it. Your car smells horrendous. Change your oil, whatever the fuck's in there. This car's never been revved in its life, and now he's just beating the absolute piss out of it. His is a Cooper, so he's 118 horsepower, 120 I think. I have more than 160 now because I got a supercharger pulley reduction.
Yeah.
But he's like trying to keep up with me, like going on the 401. We're doing,
we're doing speed limits.
We're doing the speed limit.
He's just trying to keep up with speed limits.
But he's like just foot to the floor.
He's bombing the car.
Yes. And then we get there. I told him, do maintenance. Do your maintenance. He hasn't done any maintenance for it.
He deserves blowing up that
So
car.
at one point it started making noise. I'm like, that sounds, pretty sure the guides were going. And then at one point, I guess when he was at idle, like at a stoplight, it just stopped.
It seized apparently.
I think it probably, when you're idle, you have no load on the engine, so the chain's just doing this.
And it just quit. It just jumped.
Yep.
Yeah, it jumped.
Piston met valves.
Oh, he did?
Well, it had no compression on. He had his other friend test, and he had no compression on one of the cylinders. I mean.
OT.
So
It's like R34.
but we knew that the car needed oil change. We needed service.
Yeah.
But he did wheels. He did coilovers first.
That was so funny. That was so funny.
So
that was so funny, bro. I couldn't.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch what T said, but I literally hounded him in the chat when it finally went. I'm like, what did I say? I did the valve covers on this. The valve covers were clean. The previous owner on this actually maintained it. It's the cleanest car ever.
I'm gonna take back about punching you in nuts for this car. I just realized something that I said, and I realized something that you are. This is a car that's meant for people like you.
With OCD.
With the OCD. Like, as soon as you know that something's off with the car, you're just into it. Let me get this done. Let me pull this apart.
Before I even had the car, I did a brake upgrade on the front. I went through R56 Brigger rotors and caliper. I already did brake upgrade before.
To be fair, you needed brakes anyways. That's probably a cheap upgrade.
And then Actually, well, it was okay. Yeah, it was worthwhile. I didn't want to stick with the tiny. I love big brakes.
Yeah.
All my cars have big brakes.
Yeah.
So and
Bimbos.
it had JCW front and rear bumper. It was missing the side skirt. I literally found a car that had it. I literally went and got it. So I have a full JCW. It's literally the same as a Z.
Yeah.
And then
Okay, wait. Cooper S and JCW. JCW's have one more trim. How?
yes, it's like the tuning kit.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So on the JCW you get actually you get an 11% reduction on pulley.
Oh.
And then you get head work. They got head work to get
Oh.
210 horsepower. My supercharger actually died on this thing. So we put a new supercharger, replacement supercharger. I was like, well, we're in there. 15% pulley reduction. She screams now.
So whee!
And then actually went to Japan and picked up a carbon fiber airbox on a winter beater.
No.
In Japan, these are huge. These are huge popular cars.
That's what I was going to ask. Because of all places, you went to Japan and picked up a carbon airbox.
Yep, that's a clam carbon airbox with a trumpet horn built into it.
Saclam?
SACLAM.
Yeah.
Oh, you know that, Brad?
I'm
They
like,
make-
I didn't know they make mini parts.
they do for this.
Yeah, because I know like they make like I've seen a lot of like JDM cars. All JDM cars have some. If you know one of those moments. They're not the big names.
No, they're not.
But if you see them and you're on your car, they do good. They're good.
Yep.
It's good quality.
So-
I just didn't know that they were on minis.
Nope, picked one. Yeah, I saw it in a up garage,
I mean, to be
and
fair,
I went to go in person to go pick it up.
to be fair, I found out recently that Varys does Abarth 500 stuff.
Oh shit,
I found out that recently.
that's
too.
weird. A bar?
Abarth
You don't
500.
see many on the road.
Uh,
Japan, they're huge, and they made so many special editions.
The 595?
Yeah.
The 695?
Yeah.
By posting?
By posting.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
In
bro,
Japan, you see so many.
I want one so bad right now. That's my version of this.
Get a mini.
I think I like the Abarth just a little more.
This is why I want it, because I have a turbo. I have a GTR that's turbo. I have a 3DZ NA.
Yeah.
Supercharged.
All my cars.
And I got
are
front wheel drive, rear wheel drive, and all wheel drive. I have all the.
This is exactly why we're friends. One of my backstory. I had an S4 at one point.
Oh,
A
wow.
B6 S4.
Wow, you really like problems too.
Well, I bought it with timing chain issues.
Oh, geez.
Cheap.
You really wanted the engine to come out too.
Listen, I came out. I actually did the timing chain. I actually did it. I paid a shop to do it because I'm not doing it. It's too much of a work. I got it done.
Holy shit.
I immediately, and so at that point, that means I had a Jetta, I have BRZ, and now I have a S4. Also a trifecta because front wheel drive turbo, rear wheel drive naturally NA,
Yeah.
a Boxer, and now a V8 all wheel drive.
Oh, yeah.
I was just like you at one
You
point.
need a supercharger though.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know. There's not that many superchargers. The only thing I could probably get would be a Challenger.
Pontiac Grand Prix.
But that's front wheel drive, which I already have, and it's turbocharged. It's way better. At least it shifts. So anyhow, I didn't even get to drive it, and I sold it to my friend because at this point I'm already like way too deep into the car, and I'm like, I need money because also the BRZ needs money, and then I
Yeah.
was like starting up a business and all like the shop space and all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I really can't do anything, so I ended up selling it. Luckily, it's still within us. Like
It's still within the group
still
that you
here.
know. Okay.
it's the black one you see outside. It's that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So at one point, I thought the same thing. I don't want all the cars to be the same. I want one of everything. I even went to the point where I was actually going to get instead. So if I had the money and it wasn't a problem, I was going to get a wagon version.
Oh.
But the wagon costs way more. Ask Joel. The wagon S4 with the V8 would have been way more money, and I just couldn't do it. But that was to the point of how I wanted, a different car for different purpose with different
Yes.
motives and like operand like MO. I was to that point, and this is again. I'm just gonna put this out there again. This is why me and Victor are friends because we're the same sort of. We're on the same goddamn spectrum.
We share the same brain cell,
Bro,
man.
at this point, you're just the left brain, I'm the right brain. At this point, I even went to the point of even the engine layouts have to be different.
Oh. Yeah, no, I didn't go that far.
I went to that
I
far.
just need different.
Drivetrain, engine layout, and even body and chassis style.
Holy
I went
smokes.
that far.
No, I'm good. I'm good. This transports all my wheels, does everything.
This is your utility vehicle.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna keep it, but if I get money for it, I have another car in mind that I want to get, and it's a V8.
I have my CRZ. You know why I got a CRZ? Because it's quirky. inline four, hybrid, manual. What else can you get?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
manual. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't. There's nothing. Ah, there is one. Also made by Honda. Honda Insight.
Yeah, but wait, they made manual for that?
The first gen Insight was a manual car.
Oh jeez.
And then another one. So technically it's 3. But you can't get them here. The Fit RS Hybrid.
Oh yeah, the Fit RSs, they're sick.
Yeah, Fit RS Hybrid. You
Yeah,
can't
but the
get them
RS is more like appearance. It's just more the looks.
There's a hybrid though.
Oh.
And it's the same exact
1.5?
It's same 1.5, same hybrid system, same everything.
Oh.
But for some god deranged reason, it's still 4x100 bolt pattern, whereas the CRZ is a 5x114 bolt pattern.
Oh, we could share
And-
wheels.
Huh?
We could share wheels.
Yeah.
4x100.
If I ever import a Fit RS hybrid, we'll talk.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm focused on the CRZ right now and another project, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it off camera.
Oh jeez.
Surprise.
Yeah, the project. But at this point, yeah, that's my 3 cars at this point in my whole 3 money pits.
And yeah, Victor, Mr. GTR. Okay, well, we're about to wrap this up. Any last words you want to say to the camera or the audience before we
No,
wrap
I
this
just
up?
thank you for having me, Michael. And
Thanks for
yeah,
coming.
This
my
year, yeah, I'll try again. I'm just still gonna try and come out to shows whenever I can. GTR's got some plans this summer, so probably not.
The GTR.
Yeah, probably not gonna be showing up as often. Just a couple of things I got planned, engine stuff.
Okay, but you can bring the 350.
Yeah, the 350
Or even the
this.
Mini. Honestly, if you just put some, for lack of a better word, nicer wheels on it.
What? They're BBSs.
I know, but they're OE BBS. I'm talking about like LMs or
God, you're like T telling me he's like trying to sell me his wheels and stuff. I'm like, no,
huh?
I like my
wheels. What are you selling?
from his Mini.
What did he buy for his Mini?
I forgot what they were.
SSR Type C's, like.
I don't remember what they are. They just he had
Yeah.
photos of it. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I
You
like.
see, or my favorite 4x100 wheel, the Work Equips 01s.
Oh,
My favorite wheels ever. 4x100 status. Or if you want, and money's there, Watanabe.
I was gonna say Watanabe's on that just looks so out of place.
It doesn't look bad though. You
No.
can't tell me that when you put Watanabe's on there, it'll look bad.
No,
Especially with the right offset and the right stretch of tire.
I like my basic BBSs. They came with a car,
I know.
and they're like 17x7s. They're like they're meh.
If you got 16s, you could save money.
No,
on
I don't like
tires.
it. No, because I want to do brake upgrade. I want to do the R56 Brembos. I actually took it.
And you
Actually,
need
I
17s for
just
that?
did. Yeah, because they don't clear because the brakes are actually pretty big.
Oh, okay.
I just did brake lines for the stainless steel brake lines because I actually went to the track on December 31st with this thing. It was hilarious. I was like, I wasn't gonna drive full on because I was like, oh, my winners. I need my winners to last.
And then you're saying, wee.
I'll show you videos afterwards. It's just the
Oh,
whining
nice.
is hysterical.
It's a 6-speed manual? Tiptronic?
Yeah. Which again, I'm driving in the winter. I don't
don't-
really care for this.
I'm just wondering.
Yeah.
That's all.
And it's got no sunroof. That's the only shitty part.
I'd rather it not have a sunroof.
It is better, but it's like sometimes I just want to see some sky. And none of my cars have sunroofs. My G37 has sunroofs. It's great. I use it every day.
Yeah, but that's one more thing to fail.
It's a Mini. It doesn't break.
Wrong. That's not wood.
That's why it's gonna break. It's been good so far, but aside from that, yeah, that's if I still have this car this summer, I'll probably drive this again still.
Okay, well, anyhow, this is the end of this episode. So if you like what you see, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. And I guess that's it for now. We'll catch you in the next one.
Thank you very much.
All right.